All right. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Let's start playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play.
Dude,
All right, we find our party in the family home of Marcel of the Marcel family home, the owner and operators of Marcel Mercantile. As we reach down the door, we find ourselves Tommy and Rian on the floor, covered in a mixture of uh, awkward drink concoctions and broken stands and artifacts on the ground.
Should have put it
Slightly
on.
traumatized by what's been happening. Just right as Claude and the rest of the party enter the building, and they are met by none other than Nelson Marcel himself. And let me get the picture up here. Where are you, Nelson? Where are you, Nelson?
Nelson Marcella. Oh yeah, stream. Time to watch it.
There's the man, myth, legend.
That's your papa.
You are like Papa.
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 Followed closely behind by Claude's younger brother, Ricard. Not Regard, not Ricard, just Ricard himself. And at the moment goes, and we ended our last session with just the word, "Son, is that you?" With this, while Ricard, as you can see in the photo, is shorter than his dad is also not particularly tall either. You're probably looking about maybe 5'9", 5'10" of a man. Very, very good posture, quite rigid looking. Still moves quite spry for his physical features. Would sort of be the only way of conveying his age, because the way he moves, the way he carries himself gives a presence, a confidence, and yet when he looks down at Claude, it's a definite warmth. Like there isn't, like he looks across, he sees the mini chaos on the floor of Rian and Tommy and the broken glass and the drinks all about the place, but he only really has eyes for coming down the stairs to see Claude, and he just walks towards his son, arms open, just looking to give a hug at that moment, straight up. And there's no hesitation to give a hug from Nelson's side. Is there any hesitation to give a hug from Claude's side?
Absolutely not. He's my dad.
Big hug. Just
fair hug.
Just great to have you back. Claude almost lifting his father a little bit off the ground. Claude's physically the larger of the Marcels here, and he just says, "What brings you? What brings you to Daggerford? Did you hear the news? Did you hear the news that I'm now Warden of Trade?" And he's all very, very proud of himself. Probably the closest thing comes to a giddiness about him when he says this.
I always knew it would happen. I'm very happy. Congratulations.
You had more confidence than me, son. You know the politics that run right through this town.
There was never a doubt.
It's just that opportunity we've been waiting for to try to change things from the inside. I know business has always gone well. It's just that bit of recognition we've been looking for. Obviously, I wish your mother here was here to see that, but I just can't wait. I think it's a real opportunity for all of us. And at some point today, I wouldn't mind having a conversation with you, Claude, just about your future plans. Just to see if you've had an opportunity to, you've enjoyed the world and reconsider where you've come and how you've got here. But we'll save that for later on. Introduce me to your friends. He looks over and just there's still joy in his smile and his demeanor. There's no shock or disgust or anger when he looks across. He's just you really get this feeling of, if they're Claude's friends, they're my friends. So
he gestures. The clot starts with Tommy and Rianne because obviously they're the ones making the mess.
Tommy
He
gets up,
goes,
like brushes himself off and like composes himself. Yeah, Tommy, sir, great to meet you.
Walk straight up. Gonna get your hand, give it a good shake, just proper, forearm to forearm shake.
Tommy gives it a good heart shake, and you have
This-
quite an
that's
awesome son right there.
Yeah, that's a sea life handshake if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir, man of the sea.
Yeah, yes, of course you are. And at that moment, as he's doing that, he's taking the same moment to walk over. He gives Tobin a wee rub on the top of the head, walks over to Rain, puts extends his hand to Rain, who's on the ground. Rain, how are you feeling at this moment in time? How are you reacting to this older gentleman coming to help you to your feet, or offering to help you to your feet?
Rian's still in shock and not fully here, but just kind of reacts, just reaches up and grabs his hand like there was a hand there. I'm gonna grab it and stand up, but I'm still not exactly seeing the room necessarily.
Nelson's kind of leaning over. Leaning over, trying to make eye contact with you. You can kind of sense that 1,000-mile stare that you've got going on. He goes, "Are you okay, my dear? Have you been hurt? Don't worry about this mess. We'll get that cleaned up." I must say that headband looks fetching on you. Like frankly, it's a stunning look. He looks over towards Todd. If I was a man of a younger age, but don't let me embarrass you, son. But are you okay, dear? Are you okay? Is there anything we can get you?
Rian's still not with it and kind of just is like, hi, sir, nice to meet you. And just looking around at the ground now. And
he turns around to
him in a way.
He turns around to Rickard and goes, "Rickard, will you maybe get a bench or something, or maybe start to clean some of this stuff up?" And Rickard's straight over. Like doesn't seem to be any sort of pomp or ceremony about him. Like it's not like he hasn't done cleaning before as well. Claude, as you know, your family, you don't have servants. You've kind of been raised to look after yourselves and take care of things yourself. So it's no big deal for him to ask you boys to clean stuff up and to help out, especially when there's guests in the house.
Bo's gonna help.
So,
But I'm gonna step forward, be like, "Hey, greetings and salutations, sir. I'm Bo Duck. Nice to meet you.
Greetings and salutations to you too, young man.
You may call me Bo, as my friends here do.
Heard, maybe I'm mistaken, but I heard that there was a fantastic performance today at the Foolish Captain Tavern. Was that you by any chance?
I was one of the performers. Yes. Yeah. Please. Yeah. It was quite the scene, actually.
Were you the victorious?
I
competitor?
was this time. I was performing well enough that everybody seemed to be on my side. So
Congratulations, Tommy gives you like a clap on the back.
oh, hey, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I'm clapping back on the back.
Was it a lucrative wager, or did you?
Oh, I mean, there was money at stake, but nothing. It was more of a gentleman's agreement, and I came out with this loot, and I show off my loot.
He's a very it's an impressive piece of musical equipment.
Yeah, I haven't gotten time, to spend with it yet. I haven't had any private time to get to know it. You know what I mean? A man and his instrument.
As my boy knows, just I'd be more likely to break a musical instrument if you put it into my hands.
Oh.
I'm more likely to sell the instrument than I am to actually be able to play it. If there was a way I could get the instrument and sell the strings and sell the wood for the individual bits, that's probably the best return I'd make from it. But you do not. Maybe if I'm had a little bit of a tipple later on, I might be able to try something, but I don't guarantee any.
Oh, I'm
Maybe
sure.
it's
I
like no
mean, put a loot in
performances.
your hands. Everybody's a little bit artistically capable. I'm sure we'd be able to get you playing a couple tunes here and there.
I can see why the crowd follows you wherever you go, young man. I can see why the crowd follows you. Congratulations, by the way. It's
Thank you.
fantastic fun. Fantastic
Well, if you
fun.
excuse me, I'm gonna help Rickard if you don't mind, and then I'm gonna
Thank you.
step
Thank
to
you,
the
yes.
side and help Rickard clean up the mess. Maybe.
And he looks over and he basically nods towards the other two in the room. He sees Tell and his bright yet dull costume that he's got going on at the moment. He gives him a kind of a tip of a hat, even though he doesn't have a hat on at this moment in time.
Yeah, I kind of embarrassedly look down, and I'm just like, I probably should change, and kind of nervous.
Oh, no,
Awkwardly nod back.
I appreciate a bold fashion choice at the end of the day. You know, this game, like seals with anything, it's about standing out and making sure that when you get in front of a client, they remember you. They remember you. So I wouldn't be giving up that gear too soon. If you're comfortable, if you're not comfortable, there's plenty of space to change here. But I must say, I wish I could pull that off. I wish I could. Maybe in my younger days, I wish I could.
Well, I mean, I feel like the pants are riding up a little bit. I think I'm ready to change back.
Okay. Well, if you ever need a space to change, just let me know. There's plenty of it. Claude can take you around the house at some point. Do a tour. He can give you a room to get yourself changed from there. And then he looks over towards Logan and just says, "Hello, young man. Nice to meet you. Please make yourself comfortable in our home. If there's anything you want to say, let me know. But otherwise, you're free to."
I'm just gonna give a friendly nod and lean against the wall. I'm just here to chill.
And he sees that and he appreciates. He wants people to be comfortable in his own home. He's happy that you're not standing on ceremony around him. And go from there. And as he takes that, he takes a chance to look back at Claude and go, "Claude, yeah, it's just thank you for bringing your friends. There's a lot to talk about. But
There is a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Do any of your friends want to do anything when you're in town? There's probably shopping opportunities for people. There's investigating the rest of the town. If you want, I'm actually going to an event this evening. As you'll know, actually, it was it's Truestorm. Truestorm's birthday. It's actually being held. We're hosting it at the Cash Windfall. It's a bit of I almost imagine it's kind of like a rookie hazing. You know, the first event of a new warden, and I got to be able to cough up the coin to be able to
We're
fund it.
hosting it, huh?
Yeah, at the Cash Windfall. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, okay,
looking
so-
forward to that. Yeah.
Claude kind of puts a stop to everything. I appreciate the warm welcome, but I think there's a lot we need to discuss. And is Rickard in the room still? Just
He's sweeping and
he's
cleaning
cleaning up, right?
with Bo. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Just in case he needs backup here.
Rian's gonna break in and interrupt and just take that headpiece off
Yep.
and ask, did you get this? Where did you get this?
I get it. We just acquired it. I'm just a bit of a clerk. As you can imagine, my wife was the decorator of the property, but I just picked it up on one of my journeys. I thought it looked fascinating. I've always had an appreciation for cultures across these lands. Unfortunately, since the new job position, haven't been able to get out and about on the seas. He looks over towards Tommy because you understand that freedom out there. But yeah, so just a piece. Just thought it looked nice.
Did you get it from a trader or from a dragonborn?
Trader. Is it Dragonborn?
Yes.
Is that it is Dragonborn. I had a suspicion, but the trader was from quite a while ago. Claude, do you remember? No, I know. I think we got it after you were away, so I could try to find out for you if that would help.
Can I have this?
We've been taking things off the wall, huh?
Yeah, it looks towards Claude. Goes, yes, I can see it has a sentimental connection to you. Like I said, it's just a piece for me, but it seems like it means more to you.
Claude
than it is to me.
pulls out his coin pouch. He's like, how much trade for this? Purchase
They
for it.
have the value of your company, son. Your coin is nothing to me.
There's no
Honestly,
way for a-
yeah,
No way for a merchant to speak.
We'll get a wager later on something. We'll come up with a reason for a little bit of back and forth coin. Don't you worry about that. You know, I'll get that coin off you at some stage. And he's patting his son on the back. I'll get that coin off you. But no, not for your friends. It seems like it has a bit of a symbolic gesture for her. He's kind of saying this towards Claude. Not really making it that quiet, but it just seems like, you know, I'm just kind of let her have it if that's.
Tommy's
Claude
standing.
looks at the mess and kind of nods. It must mean something.
Tommy's standing
Ian
behind.
strokes it lovingly and puts it back on her head and just whispers a "Thank you, sir."
Bo stands in the corner feeling kind of uncomfortable.
You don't have a reason to be uncomfortable. Tommy's Tommy's uncomfortable. Tommy's like behind Nelson, eyes like like no.
Just glad Tommy didn't vomit on anything this time.
Just-
The drinks came out of the cup.
Tommy is
Anyways.
very uncomfortable with her having that.
I imagine there are some stories to be told on your travels. And he's looking at each of you. Goes, no, don't try to sugarcoat any of these stories about my Claude. I want to know everything that actually happened, not just his version of things.
I promised Father we will get to the stories, but first we need to talk about this party. And he nods to Rickard, and I ask him, "Did you hear about the murder at the bakery, the Flower and Bloom?"
Heard something had happened. It was a murder. Like
There was.
wasn't
first-
wasn't Raynar, was it? Is Raynar okay? Raynar Embers?
Do you remember? Was that the baker's name? I
That's the
didn't write
victim.
that one
Yeah,
down.
that's
Yeah.
the victim. Yeah.
I was like, if the investigation's ongoing, but I'm pretty sure he was the victim.
Yes, sir. He's fairly certain Raynor's dead.
And there's no more cake.
Rian made sure of that. But here's the thing. And he starts pulling the evidence out of his pockets to kind of set on the
Yeah.
table. I don't remember who. I had the coin pouch, the platinum, and I think I had the blank coin. I think.
Note you have the coin pouch, but somebody has the coins that were in said pouch. Tommy has no idea what's happened here.
The S at
but-
that sentence, that's too much. That's not coins. There's a
Yeah,
coin.
yeah. Oh yeah.
The pouch is a coin
Yeah.
later.
Coin ladder. Okay. Yeah.
I think
So there's-
Bo had the severed finger.
Do I?
That's what I
I don't know
wrote.
who had the fingers. Because there's multiple fingers. Wasn't it a box of fingers, or did we just
No.
turn
think-
that over
I think
to
we-
evidence?
I had a finger at one point, but I put it in the box.
I mean, I had at least 5.
The mystery of the finger. Who had the finger? Who had the finger?
There wasn't as many as 5. There was 5 slots in the
Oh, no,
box.
I was just joking about like.
Oh, sorry.
I
Yeah.
have
Okay.
5
Cool. Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
At least 5.
Um,
No, but I don't know who. I'm gonna check, but I don't think I have that.
it's okay from a game perspective. I don't mind who has it. But you are showing it to Nelson.
Yeah, so I
you're
lay
basically
it all
showing
down.
evidence, Yeah.
The brooch as well. Be like,
Yeah.
just explain. Baker was murdered. These were in his shop, hidden compartments. The cake was poisoned, or cursed or something. Rian was affected by it,
Oh,
The birthday cake.
Oh, my dear.
and
It
I've
was
been
alive.
finding.
Not a
I've been-
truthful cake, indeed. Yeah.
Claude lowers his voice. He like just out of caution. I've been finding 7 suns symbolism all the way from the disaster in Daggerford to here, or not Daggerford, sorry,
Shellberg. Yeah.
Shellberg, all the way to here. And
Like-
I'm finding it hard to believe that this is a coincidence.
Like unscrupulous business dealings, Seven Sons, or
Theft, forgery, coin forgery. I don't know how far this goes,
right?
but my point is, I believe somebody was trying to set up an assassination attempt on my notes. There's so many notes.
Yeah, that's okay. Just you think
Or
it was
Truestorm.
targeted at a true storm.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I think we need to stop this, because if the cake falls through, whoever is trying to set this up isn't going to give up with the cake. That sounds silly to say.
Well, no, I was kind of hoping for a slightly lighter tone story, son. If I was totally honest. Are you okay? Like has anyone hurt you? Like, do I need to get our forces together? Like, is somebody after you?
Not that I know of. I don't know. Somebody might be onto us. Boduk and I suspect. God, there's so much going on.
Yeah, sir.
There's- I'm trying to think of how to say this without sounding completely insane. There is a lockdown at the port, and there are people being held on a ship. Do you know about this?
Well, the lockdown makes sense after Shellberg.
Yeah.
You know, like we really hope it's a temporary measure. You know, we're getting conflicting reports about what happened in Shellberg, but we do know that it's pretty much been wiped off the face of the earth. I can't even imagine those poor people there. But we're just getting conflicting reports. We haven't actually had any eyewitness accounts of anything that happened. So
what can you tell us about the ship, the Howling Boar? Have you heard of this? You ever heard of that?
Yeah, but more like a
what?
Well, I find it kind of hard to describe. It's kind of more like a ghost story than anything. It's the sort of thing I would have told like Claude and Rickard when they were younger. You know, just not go out on boats on their own. Oh, Howling Boar will get you. You know, it's like.
All right, I gotta do an insight check on this.
Yeah.
Fuck me, 2.
Yeah, it's a children's story.
It pulls out the scrap of cloth with the boar on it, and it says, "Does this belong to a house that I'm not familiar with?"
Yeah, I think that looks more like a ship emblem. You know, it's got that sort of design to it. It's more like, you know, when you name a boat and you have some emblems, you know, like the masthead sort of shape is often dedicated to things like that. So, yeah,
This was at the dock, and the guard very distinctly used the name, the Howling Boar.
okay.
You saw that?
We're gonna have to look.
You saw that at the dock,
We found it at the dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he said the Howling Boar.
Said the Howling Boar. Why? What do you know about it, Tommy?
What was he by himself, or who did you
Well,
speak to?
We saw a man taken by the guard, a prisoner that supposedly had escaped. I followed them because Boduk came with me, Logan was there. We followed because there's no prison, there's no holding cells at that dock as far as we were aware. By the time we made it to the warehouse and made our way inside, the guards and the prisoner were nowhere to be seen. The only way they could have gone is through water. And the guard who was on duty.
There was a prison break earlier on, and I know sometimes, you know, while investigations are being conducted, they do create temporary measures. Was
out in the water?
Well, I would have thought about more of the warehouse itself, but obviously I wasn't there, so I know that's not an uncommon practice to use temporary holding facilities, but But they weren't there. Like you definitely didn't lose track of them along the way, or
We followed them to the warehouse. We went into the warehouse, and from there, the only way out was by boats.
Yep.
We had
Who-
Logan on the outside. We would have spotted something if they left another way.
Yeah,
The guard.
you being the warden of trade, I don't think you would have anything to do with the authorities and holding cells and.
oh no,
keeping-
you're more likely looking at the warden of scales, so
Yeah.
sort of justice.
Yeah.
That's Delilah Brunswick. That's probably more likely to be her,
Hey,
sort of Delilah Brunswick.
Question for the DM: with how Daggerfort is set up, is it close to a bay or close to an ocean, or?
So I will get a picture for you.
Wasn't it a big old river that ran by it?
Yeah, it's like pretty much surrounding it. Let me get some images for you, just as a
Peninsula Lake.
reminder.
Tommy seemed worried about that howling boar thing.
Doc thinks to himself.
Jake speaks out of character.
This Tommy, this howling boar. What do you know? What is this?
You saw the ship?
No, the guard told us that's where people were being held.
That's where he was being taken.
We persuaded him to give us some information.
Yeah, he wouldn't lie to us for sure. He was. You know us. We're charming.
Okay, so
Clyde gives a big smile.
So from that left dock's view, would they have been able to see an open body of water or not from?
Yeah.
Okay.
You would. So imagine on the picture here, imagine it's around about here, approximately. Not these naturally matched out, so this would be looking out over water. This is the part as well that you were approximately looking at when you were following where the prisoner was going, because it was being taken out of water, and then this is the sort of port area that's basically been kind of closed off. And imagine it being maybe this building here, this long one, and that's that waterway.
Tommy kind of Tommy like his like shaking his head and kind of like mumbling to himself like there's no way that's still. And then it couldn't. You guys didn't see a ship, right?
We didn't spot the ship ourselves.
That's
But
crazy.
also
Like
it's
very clear.
Nelson said, it's kind of this ghost story that goes among pirates of a ship known as the Howling Boar, and the fact that guard mentioned it, I don't know if he was just messing with you to try and scare you away from what they were hiding there or whatever, but if you didn't see a ship, then I don't believe there could be a
It
ship.
looks kind of old. This cloth here, like it's,
Hand it to Tommy.
It's a bit dusty. So he hands over towards Tommy.
Tommy looks at it and he's like, can I just hold on to this? This can always be used great for a good story in a tavern, kind of having something like this.
Yeah.
Hold on to it, but just know this guard wasn't in a position to lie to us, Tommy.
Tommy,
Claude gives him a stern look in the eyes, like
You do
not
to that
intimidate,
soldier.
just to show that he was serious. Soldier, yeah.
Lord Marcel, what did you do to that soldier?
That
was-
soldier is fine. Clyde gets a little defensive.
Claude.
Soldier is fine.
Claude.
He does know who we are, though. So I'm not looking.
Not quite sure I like that answer, Claude.
I just wanted to make sure there was suspicious things afoot, Father.
You're not
And I was
exactly
doing my due
convincing me here.
diligence. I
You-
was doing my due diligence to make sure that nobody was being unjustly treated. You taught me that
That's-
every man, woman, and child deserves their rights I don't know where I'm going with it.
No, go. You got
Yeah,
this.
keep going.
No, yeah,
This-
go for it.
This man, he wasn't right. There was something wrong. They were taking him in a direction they shouldn't have been taking him, and now he's vanished off the face of the city. He's gone, and we have no explanation for it, other than apparently a ghost ship.
And
Well,
sir, I
I don't-
believe it was
Claude-
you that
Claude.
ordered the ban of anybody in the waters, and we were very certain that they had entered the waters via boat.
Well, actually, first of all, thank you for bringing that to my attention. If someone's actually been in the water, we have to investigate that. We can't risk something like that happening to Shellberg. Claude, I'm going to speak to you later on. I have to say, like, I don't want another fight about this, but this Temple of the Helm stuff that you got yourself involved in, you and I. No, this is a lovely visit. Let's keep this going. We will talk about this later. But please, turns back to the rest of your friends. Please make yourselves comfortable. So Bodak, apologies if my son has led you astray with...
Sir, let me step in and kind of diffuse that a little bit. It was actually, I was the person that kind of took steps towards convincing charming the guard using a little bit of spell work. We really felt that things were amiss, and after coming from the investigation, it all seemed very suspicious, and just it seems like there's a lot more going on here and we don't know who all is involved and who we can trust. And if there's anybody that I've learned to trust, it's Claude and I believe his family, the Marcels.
Okay.
We needed
Right.
answers, and if there's corruption within the city guard, we have
Claude, I will talk to you later on. Excuse me.
Claude is
Mr. Bodak, I appreciate your candor at this time. Please make yourself comfortable. Thank you for putting in the effort to clean up my home. And
This isn't the first
would
mess
you-
I've helped clean up from Tommy.
I'm sure that's.
I
you've
didn't-
had some
I
amazing
didn't make
adventures.
this mess.
Oh yes, I mean you know how these scallywags are. They can be a little bit rough around the edges.
Rough around
Well,
the
you
edges,
probably
but
get the-
always lovable.
Tommy, you probably get the feeling that the Nelson from your first introduction would have been laughing along with you guys, but he's kind of got a bit of a grimace, is like kind of a smiling, but not with his eyes. It's like, okay.
Tommy does that like trailing off laugh, like ha ha ha.
Yeah. Okay. Would you please look after your friend? She seems in a little bit of a state.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take a moment to speak to my son for a second over here. Basically, kind of takes Claude, and he's basically, the hand is behind the middle of your back, and he's pushing you towards the bottom of the stairs, away from everybody. So before these two have a chat, is there anything that the rest of the party want to do when they're standing over there?
I'd like to approach Rian and like maybe do a medicine check, see if I can figure out what's going on with her. Rian, you're right. Like, what? How you feeling? You've been kind of off since the cake.
Rian's still a little glazed over in the eyes and looking almost through another world, and says, "He really shouldn't yell at his son that way. That just leaves room for a lot of regrets."
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I don't know. I myself is not. I'm not a father. I don't know. But that's definitely not how I was treated as a child.
Are there like benches, couches, or anything in this like room that we're currently sitting there?
It's a couple of those almost like midway between a small sofa and a footstool. One of those sort of 2-seaters that have no back on them.
Okay. Tommy approaches Rian. He's like, probably we should probably just sit down and relax for a little bit, and he's gonna try to guide you towards a chair / couch, Rian, if you'll follow.
Just following, kind of zombie-like.
Okay.
To sit down and.
As we sit, Tommy very much
keep reaching up to touch the headdress.
As we kind of sit down, Tommy very like under his breath is like, "What the hell are you doing with this headdress? Why do you still have that?" And he's like, "You got to tell them about what you freaking saw with this headdress."
It was my fault.
It's not that it's like your fault. It's like you saw stuff and you saw the dragon and you said that I had the dragon, but it wasn't me. Why do you still have that headdress? Tommy's like, it's like frantic, like,
it was my fault.
If you're not gonna tell them what you saw, I'm gonna tell them what you saw.
She was in my head. It was my fault.
Tommy's tried so hard to like
patient.
Yeah. It's like he's just like, well, okay. Why do you have to have the headdress? You don't want her in your head, do you?
I can maybe see them again.
See who?
My family.
You saw your family when you had the headdress on too?
My clan, they all died and it was my fault. Sarah was in my head.
Tommy's torn now. Let's see. Well, what if
He's so mad? But
yeah, I know, because now that she brought up like a family thing, that's like a family connection, and not just her seeing the dragon. Now he's trying to figure out like what to do about it. Okay, all right. What if the dragon is somehow using you with that headband thing and can like see through your eyes? And like Tommy's now like in this weird thing of like what if she's looking through you?
At this point, Rian kind of gets a little annoyed and snaps back into the present a little bit and whips to look at Tommy and it's like, just leave it alone. We have to take down Cassera, and if this is my connection to her, I'm going to fix this. It was my fault. And then she looks back forward again and kind of spaces out.
This is a terrible idea, and Tommy just gets up and like walks away across the room.
Tommy, what you realize probably for the first time, probably in a couple of days, there are no tiny tippy taps of paws behind you as you walk away.
Okay. I think Tommy's in his own head, so he doesn't even pay attention. Almost because it became common for him to be there, or for Tobin to be there, that I don't think he even takes notice to it. He just walks. Yeah. He basically goes to whatever the opposite corner of where she currently is. He goes to that opposite corner and kind of posts up, and it's just eye contact, like staring at her, just waiting for her to go completely blank again.
Right. Okay.
At the Marcel home?
Yep.
Okay.
Bo, Logan, Tell, anything you guys want to do.
I'm gonna grab a drink.
There's a smaller selection of drinks now available because the other half of the drinks are on the floor.
Any clear style? Any clear clear liquids? Liquors? Yep. Alright, I'm gonna pour me something of that, and I'm gonna use a little bit of mints, a little bit of herbs that I found, and make a little mixed drink of my own. Anyway, that's all.
Do Logan and Tell want some of what Bo's drinking?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna join him.
Oh yeah, you want some Tell? All right, I'll fix him up. I'll fix you one up right away.
Nah,
make us both
Logan's
drinks.
stays stoic, just leaning
Yeah.
against the wall.
Okay.
I'm boring.
So cool. No, he
No,
looks so cool and
no.
majestic as fuck. Just
No,
standing
man,
there, not
that's-
saying much, just looking
Yeah.
dope as fuck.
I just want you to be ready to like throw a dagger at someone's knee,
That's it.
or like chase after someone.
Legally, it's literally like
There's-
Legolas. He
there's-
just could just
the-
stand there,
yeah,
and it was
no-
like he looked
yeah.
fucking dope doing
Nah,
this.
he's a mix of
wrong answer.
Legolas
Badass
and
wood elf just lurking.
Yeah,
Legolas and what's his name? Aragorn. He's like a mixture
Yeah.
of the two.
The Strider, yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
going for.
Yeah,
picture in my head.
nice.
then you're nailing it.
Up on it.
Yeah, then you exactly. That's absolutely nailed it. We go back over to Claude and Nelson, basically at the bottom of the forest stairs, and Nelson just looks looks up slightly to Claude, and just goes, "I'm gonna need a little bit more information here."
We started in Shellburg. We stopped a robbery
In Shellburg.
in Shellburg. Moments before the attack, there was a theft. There was a robbery. We caught a thug, Seven Sons merchant tattoo.
Before you even finish that sentence, he gives you a massive hug because he knows how close you are to potential disaster. And you can just see his demeanor just drops again. A lot of the attitude and that sort of pent up thing is just sort of kind of sapped away. But he's a bit closer to what he was, maybe a little bit less performative than he was when he was in front of everybody else coming down. He's just talking with his son again, but a lot of that sort of attitude has drifted away. He goes, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just glad you're okay."
Yeah, Claude goes from frustrated to a little like melancholy. He's just
Okay.
they've been through a lot, and he's trying to put the pieces together. And he goes, I'm worried for our family. That we escaped Shellburg fine. We found that thug again in Flattery, and he says, "You remember Flattery?
Yeah.
Gone. The people are gone, replaced by mimics and doppelgangers. We found the thug there again. Even more suspicious, we found an illegal coin mint. I'm trying to think of how to say that. Coin mint.
Yeah. That just explains. All right, I'll let you say your part, but then I can feed in my part. But okay,
One step further, we found more clues. We get here. The murdered baker, and he pulls out the blank coin. He goes, "The only place you find blank coins is in the market, or is in the black market. Like, these are forgeries. Somebody's creating these." And we've seen too much Seven Sons connections for it to be a coincidence. At the same time, a baker is murdered and a sabotage cake. Somebody is trying to set us up, and I don't know what to do.
yeah. And so you think it's directed at us, but the cake was for Truestorm.
I didn't know who was being set up until you told me that we were hosting this event, that our family was responsible for this event. I don't know what else to think, except that we're a target. Somebody else is a target. Sir Truestorm is a target, but we're meant to take the backlash. And this is beyond family rivalries. I know we've been at odds with the Seven Sons for a long time, but this is a new level. This isn't just sabotage.
It's business. It's not personal.
A man is dead for no reason. We found body parts. We found forged coins, and people are dying. There is no doubt in my mind that if that cake had made it to the party, multiple people would be dead. Rianne came out. She is lucky to be alive after what we discovered. I haven't known her a long time, but I can't forgive what we found in that bakery. I don't know where to go from here.
The shock that's on your dad's face briefly changes into a real look of pride because he's looking at you, going, "That's the Claude I know."
And then Claude gets somber as he remembers his vision.
Yeah.
And says, "We met a god." He's like, "The dragon that destroyed Shellberg has siblings. And with that god, we saw a vision. And I don't know, I can't interpret everything from it, but I do know that the Seven Sons were connected in an insidious way." And he just kind of
Well,
lets it all out.
first of all, thank you for trusting me with this. I can do to assist, or I'm not really the fighter I was back in my day. I'm kind of used to. I can probably still get into a bit of a peer fight. A bit of fisticuffs, but it's probably not where I'm going to be the most helpful. Do you want to talk it over with your friends? Do you have any sort of a plan? Obviously, it would look weird. Here's where I'm thinking. Here's where I'm coming from. If I don't go tonight and something happens, because Truestorm's not going to turn down an opportunity for a bit of positive news about himself. He's got the protests that he's having to deal with at the moment. There's a lot of negative energy associated with him, so he needs something to kind of get a bit of positivity back associated with his name. I would be afraid that if we're the hosts and then I'm not there, and then if something happens, that my thought is that kind of plays right into the hands that we're behind this. But what do you think?
I think if we're going to catch the person who's behind us, we need to follow through as if nothing's wrong. But we can't stop searching for them. We need to have contingency plans. We've been on their trail, but I need to know that we have your support.
Do you really need to ask? Have things got to a point between us where you actually feel like that's a real question? Because of course I'm there. Of course I'm there for you.
We've been away from home for a long time, and I just want to make sure everybody makes it through okay. Whatever this is.
How's Rickard? Kind of taking the news.
He was there for the murder. I think he's a little confused, but I think we can count on him.
Do you think he's at risk?
I think any of us are at risk being, if our house is the target, then any one of us is at equal risk.
So, okay. Well, thank you for telling me. Thank you for trusting me with this information. I will do whatever I can. I know I'm relatively new. Relatively new warden in this. If there's any resources that the rest of the cloak of Daggerford can provide, we'll get there. We'll take care of what we need to do with regards to Shellberg and dragons and water and all that sort of stuff. My priority now is to make sure that you and Rickard are going to be okay. I'm sorry that you coming here has walked you right into the middle of this. I wish you could have been here for brighter circumstances. I thought it was going to be. It was okay.
We're gonna get through this, and it's gonna be better on the other side. But for now, I think we need to ensure the safety of everybody at this party without letting our enemies know what we know. The guard that we talked to at the dock already knows too much, so they're going to be on guard. But I think we need to get the crew, our crew together, and figure out how we get to the bottom of this.
Okay. And at that moment, just Nelson just puts his arm on your shoulder, just, and brings you in just for one more big hug. Because I love you, son.
Love you too, Father.
Okay, right. So let's put dragons and murders and stuff in the background. We're being terrible hosts at the moment. Let's go check on your friends, and we'll reconvene. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go check up on Record. Okay.
Yeah.
Sonny.
I was gonna say, out of character, Nelson must have seen some shit on his travels, because Claude just casually dropped "We met a god" and he just breezed over it like he said he would put a shirt on this morning. Like, Nelson must have seen some shit, because holy smokes, yeah, we met a god and saw a vision, and oh, okay, a murder though, because I thought that was like a mic drop moment, and then I was like, all right, well, he just took that like it was on the chin. Cool. We meet gods.
From that perspective, I think it's a bit more of he saw it was distressing his son, so that was definitely certain priority on that.
You're good.
Don't worry. I know you're not critiquing. Don't worry.
No, I for me it was like a mic drop, and then things just kept going on. I was like, okay, like, cool.
Okay. Nelson turns and goes, everybody, thank you for coming. You first of all, it doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it anyway. You are free to roam. Obviously, the rest of the house. Claude can give you a tour if anything. If anyone needs to get cleaned up or tidied or just get some rest in place. We've got a party to go to. So I'm clearly not dressed to my best. So I'm going to retire to my room to get ready for a couple hours and just process everything. I say we maybe reconvene maybe in about 2 hours or so, which gives us about an hour or so to sort of get ready before we have to leave for the actual party. How does that sound for everybody?
Sounds good, sir.
Wonderful.
I'm good with that.
So
Yeah.
before he leaves, can I like walk over to Claude and say, "Hey, can we talk about that wanted sign? Can we get rid of that?
I don't
Can we
think
clear
I
my
saw it.
name? I feel like your dad really loves you, and I feel like you could just throw that away. You just forget all about it. Silly past.
At this point, Nelson has started to walk up the stairs. If you're going to engage with him at this time,
No, I'm just talking to Claude.
Yeah, I don't worry if Claude's going to do it as well. So, okay.
Hell,
Get rid of this wanted sign.
Yeah, I just
Love it. Yeah.
It's old.
You know I need. It's old. You know I need to ask more.
I don't know more.
You don't know more. You don't know. You don't know why you're wanted.
I mean, I can think of a couple reasons, but shoot, I don't know.
You don't know? It said prison break.
It
on
did?
that. Yeah, I believe it said.
I don't
wanted
think
for
Claude
prison
saw it
break,
himself.
Also, I believe murder. Here, I have the. I'm pretty sure I still have the.
When thinking about this, the sort of the marks and the bruises that have been there for a long time around your wrists, your ankles, and around your neck start to slightly throb a little bit out of sort of recognition that, yeah, you of your own history. Of slight flashbacks to really squalor environments. You've been in prisons before, and this one seemed particularly rough, maybe almost a bit haphazard. Certainly wasn't like a clean prison or a very formal penitentiary of any sort. And back starts to sore. Your back starts to feel a bit sore, and your knees start to feel a bit sore just from hard labor that you were doing in those things, especially while chained up.
Uh-huh.
So that's what you're thinking and feeling at the moment. So, and you do know that there's a reason that you're no longer in those chains, and you know that it wasn't somebody else's decision that you were able to get free. It was your decision and your decision alone, and your efforts to become free.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. I kind of get somber, and I'm just like, I had to get out of there.
Real quick, out of character, what warden would be responsible for this, like city, like safety or guard, prison, stuff like that?
Yeah, so you'd be so Delilah, that's exactly it. So yeah, you'd be thinking the six wardens that Claude knows about. Warden of Faith, Warden of Mineral, which is Truestorm.
Mm-hmm.
Of the Waves, of Coin, which is your father. Coin or exchange. Particularly the old time traditional is exchange, but as times have changed themselves and currency becomes more and more important, it gets kind of shorthanded to Warden of Coin, but the traditional title is Warden of Exchange. Then there is Warden of the Land, and then the Warden of Scales, which would be Justice, as you can imagine. Commonly presented as well as a iconography would be also quite similar to a shield. So Justice, Defense, etc. This is Delilah Brunswick.
Hey there, Delilah. Claude, are we going to this party or tonight? Did you speak with your father?
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to finish with Tell. I'd be like, look, that's not within our power to remove your bounty, your wanted status, whatever it may be. But if we can get to the bottom of whatever this conspiracy is and come out clean on the other side, then maybe there's something we can do to forgive your past.
That's where I was going with that is tonight. Yeah. If we're going to that party, I'm sure there's going to be more than one warden there, not just your father. And if the Warden of Scales is there, I mean, I feel like we need to have a talk with her about those guards as well.
Here, I don't know who we can trust. I was like, I trust all of you implicitly at this point after what we've seen on this journey, but being back home, the politics were never my strong suit. I know a lot of people, but for someone to make a bold move like this, an assassination attempt, I would call it, I think we need to be there. I think this party needs to go off. I think we need to be ready, if you all are with me, to stop whatever this is.
Do you think are we going to set up an ambush? Some type of trap? What do you think? What's the plan here?
I definitely don't want to show my face. If people are going to be there, I'm going to be in the background.
I think that'll work. I think we need to have some people undercover and ready to strike. If this cake is not, if there's a backup plan, I don't know what it's going to look like. If it's going to be a bold attack, if it's going to be an assassin in the shadows.
Yeah.
If Truestorm is their only target, it's just the only one we know of.
Yeah, exactly. And we still don't know who stopped Raynor. Like, why was he a target? Was it to keep him quiet? Still so many unanswered questions. But I don't know. Who's hungry?
We still need to do our little break. Fill our bellies, take a short rest.
What a transition.
Yeah, enough of it. I mean,
who killed the baker? Are we setting up a trap? Who's hungry?
I mean, we're not,
Squirrel.
We're not setting up a trap.
Yeah, we can't plan on empty stomachs.
Insert food montage.
That's what I.
Claude
That's
leads
what,
everybody to the kitchen.
Thurs had that on his mind since he started that drink.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like the hook, like the feast from the hook.
Oh, they met. Yeah.
You're playing with us, Peter.
I guess
You're
maybe food,
doing it, Peter.
I guess maybe food can wait, but like, yeah. And then what is? I don't know.
All right,
No,
well,
murder can wait. Food is now.
we can plan over a meal. How about that? I know everybody's hungry. It's been a long journey.
Yeah.
We can have a nice sit down.
So, Claude, as you know, it's a family house. It's a family kitchen. You're not, not to be waiting for butlers or servants or anything like that. There, that's just the way the Marcels have always done it. If you're going to do it, do it yourself.
Is there a cooking score? Is there?
I was gonna say, can he roll for hosting?
Can I roll for food handling?
Food handling.
It goes wrong. Medicine check.
A natural one. He makes us all poison sandwiches.
Constitution check.
Yeah,
Constitution saving throw.
TPK. Own cooking.
We all die in that kitchen that day.
Yeah.
So my next question is: can we trust Claude? Can we trust your dad with this information? And then, because he's seen my face already. If I go in and undercover, he's gonna know who I am. Can we trust him enough to tell him the situation?
He's one of two people in this city that I know I can trust.
Okay, so we can include him on the plan.
I think we need him on the plan. I think we need the backing of at least one authoritative family to make any of this make sense. Otherwise, who's going to believe us?
Is Rickard in the room, DM?
Yep. He's basically beside you. He's beside you. Yeah, so inside you, but basically,
nothing seemed awkward until this moment.
Well, you were helping to do the cleaning, and then you spent a lot of time doing the talking, which meant Rickard was the one left to do pretty much most of the cleaning. So, but once again, you got the feeling, Rickard, he's cleaned up. It's not like it's demeaning or anything to him. It's his house. He's looking after it, and so yeah. He's pretty much finishing cleaning up, and he said, if anyone wants to get freshened up, there's a couple of bedrooms up the stairs. Obviously, the one at the furthest end is father's room, and so there's wash facilities, and there's the kitchen if anybody's hungry. Obviously, serve yourself as many drinks as you want. You're our guests here. You can kind of see him like kind of side eye towards Claude, almost kind of like, Claude, you can kind of read this as brothers growing up together. There's definitely a look between you, like, you okay? Like with eye contact across the room, So he's filling the gap of the silence, talking to everybody else, but he's looking towards you with the real.
Claude, he's tense again, but
yeah.
He goes about the kitchen. He starts pulling out bread and meat and vegetables. Just starts slicing. He's keeping himself busy trying to make food for everybody. Slicing some sandwiches.
I'm gonna ask Rickard. So what's the layout of this party gonna be like? What's the where's it at again? It's
the Cash Windfall.
Yeah. What's the layout of that kind of place?
Open cabaret style theater. So there'll be a theater, lots of round tables at the front, sort of VIP type sections, some smaller tables towards the back. Mm-hmm. There'll be some light security at the front, just general sort of administrative support, and keep anybody who's not explicitly invited to it. Mm-hmm. But it's still a public place, So we get the feeling that kind of with all the negative attention that Truestorm's been getting with the protests, etc., that he kind of wants a bit of a show. Like he'll want to be kind of seen as a bit of a man of the people. So
who's been protesting him?
miners, his workers. You know, they're striking at the moment, and we wouldn't have seen them today because that's that's the belt of
Yeah.
Daggerford, but we're in the sheath now, so at that sort of entry point between the sheath and the hilt of Daggerford, that's where, because when we talk about these three areas and there being 6 wardens, there's really kind of 2 sort of wardens per area,
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of makes sense. So you've got at the base you've got waves and land, so that's for the belt. At the middle, it's exchange, it's coin, and it is minerals. And then the hilt is faith and scales. So that's where basically it allows a presence of a warden to be nearby all the people. None of this high up ivory tower idea. It's a collective city. That's the symbology behind it. So those protests are happening at the junction point between the sheath and the hilt, because that's effectively where the most embarrassment for Truestorm would be. And Shield, and Scales have been trying to manage the situation, but there's been clash points at that as tensions have risen. I don't think it's Scales' fault. They're just trying to keep the peace and keep people safe. But the miners, they've been in, if you believe what they say, pretty terrible conditions and pretty dangerous conditions.
Yeah.
And accusations of cost cutting, especially in terms of safety measures, has led to a couple of accidents. And so that's kind of the reason of why someone wants to celebrate the birthday and get some positive news attention out there, and just try to convert sort of the voice of the public, the sort of tone in the public, back towards his side. So
who do you think's in the wrong there? Do you think the miners? Do you think they're not right to be protesting? I don't know who.
No, it's don't say anything to Dad, but there has been an increasing number of accidents in the mines. There's yeah. I don't necessarily think planned accidents, but I think accidents caused by if other safety measures were afforded, or
just pure negligence, huh?
Yeah, not understaffed. So that's just my reading into it. As you can imagine, it wouldn't be a good sign. It wouldn't be a good visual for me to be interacting with the miners, because that would almost seem like I'm taking sides against another warden. But
are there any other trades that are protesting around the city?
No, I'd say dock workers are getting a bit antsy because, of course, but that's exchange. That's kind of our area. We've been able to keep our crew compensated for a while.
Yeah.
While we've been doing that, so that's been able to kind of head off any tensions.
Seems like
at the moment,
civil unrest's going on right now.
Well, it's disruption to people's lives, and livelihoods, and you see this house. It's a physically large house, but like the furnishings are nice. They're more sentimental because of mother. But I know Dad is very, very proud of his new position, but he took a long time to get there. So it's not like he's been in the position long enough to really see any benefit of that yet.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's in the know either. Not in the know quite yet. At least in the inner circles of
maybe not yet. Yeah, it's, as you can imagine, it's kind of there's clicks within clicks. So
are the Seven Sons based here? Do they have their own?
No, they don't. They don't really. They kind of have different branches, but there's no real sort of central head office as Marcel Mercantile would have here within Daggerford. So,
Hey Rick, what do you know about the Howling Boar? Have you? I mean, you heard me ask him. Do you know
Yeah,
anything? Or are you gonna give me the same ghost story?
well, it's what it was told to me. You know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if someone was inspired by the story to create something. You know, there's nothing ever to say that. You know, is it a ghost story or is someone really like the story and they got a ship and I can name it whatever I want? I don't know. But I haven't seen a ship
Yeah.
called the Howling Boar. It certainly doesn't seem like your type of ship that just docks at at the pier, every other end of week. So there's
It
not
doesn't
exactly
make sense.
not exactly a lot of shore leave happening from the Howling Boar, crew.
Mm.
What doesn't make sense is to hear something like that from the city guard.
He certainly was city guard.
He was wearing the uniform, is all
Okay.
I can say. Is that accurate? Out of character?
And that's right. That's right. He was.
It was a city guard uniform.
I mean, he also knew you by name. This
Yeah.
Claude,
He identified the
Marcel
house.
name.
So here's a question. You said security of the Cash Windfall. Is that being provided by the city guard? Is that from the Warden of Scales?
Yeah, that would be the Warden of Scales. That's a especially when the cloak are attending an event.
Yeah.
There's a delicate balance between you don't want to give them preferential treatment because it's not really that sort of an organization. They're more sort of representatives of it, but still the political fallout of something actually happening. You can imagine. Image is everything. So
Claude starts passing sandwiches around the group, get everybody fed.
Bodak hands Tommy a drink.
Claudius eyes him carefully. There's been a lot. Tommy's drinks tend to end up on the walls and floor.
Messy. Yeah.
He takes a sip, kind of just sets it down and goes back to the sandwich. But his eye contact is very much on Rianne, just like waiting for her to explode. Just
Okay, I'm gonna take a short break. I'll be back 1 second.
No problem.
Okay. So I wanna ask the group, where do we start? Do we investigate the ship? Do we wait until the party and try and see what happens there?
We only have like an hour or two until the party.
I figure we don't have long. I think if we were to investigate the ship, we'd have to split up.
Was like, how much does the rest of what are you informing that the rest of us that there could be something going down? Because I feel like the important conversations of trouble were separate conversations that weren't stated to the entire group. So
yeah,
the rest of us are just kind of like going to a party is what we are in our current mindset. So
okay,
Bodak
conveys all that information.
I'm wanted. I can go check the ship out.
Here's the thing, though, is like you're wanted, but you're not like, I don't know. It's the impression that it's like an old wanted poster, and whether you're actually wanted or not anymore, it doesn't seem to be the case, and it's just a matter of like, I don't know. If that's part of Tell's backstory, I'm not clear on what's going on with it.
perhaps
I'll give you a quick rundown because I kind of touched on it because I kind of forgot.
I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, I touched on it like when I revealed my true identity. Like so my wife and son,
Yep, I remember that.
daughter were killed, and I was captured by pirates and I was put in prison. But I escaped and found a religious cult. I escaped because I was like chained and beaten and stuff, and that's why I broke out of the prison. So I had to get out of there. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay in prison.
But was it So was
Especially
it
since
like
I didn't deserve it.
I don't know if you know that was it like an official prison or was it like a because you said captured by pirates. So were you held prisoner by pirates?
I think, I I think that's Radishing's deal. I think he kind of added some lore to it.
Oh, okay.
But from
Tell
my
if you want, yeah, anything you want to go with, either follow through. Or if there's anything you want me to ask based on what we talked about before, just let me know.
We were
The
kind
rest
of
of the group,
discussing
the rest of the group
things.
can kind of pretend they didn't know. So
Yeah.
So
you were trying to figure out
What we were gonna do, and like we were also discussing like
how
wanted Tell actually is anymore because it's. I mean, we came across those posters, and I mean we've gone through town and dealt with guards, and yeah, they've kind of showed interest, but or like a mild recognition, but Rickard and Papa Nelson, nobody really gave you much, mind.
yeah,
Granted,
and
you are
maybe
in
it's
disguise,
just
but
maybe it's just the scale guy who knows me, and like
Oh,
he'll
wow.
draw me. But I don't know that piece of what you've built, Radishing.
I was gonna say,
So
we don't know it yet. We gotta find.
what if we
yeah,
ask
you gotta find
Ricard?
it.
So I'll give Tell a little bit of that. Tell, when you talk about recognizing the squalor sort of conditions that you were kept in and how you're kept, you do also know that on a couple of occasions you were transported and you were forcibly taken from where you originally were.
Yep. Okay.
That's life.
Well, I was gonna say,
Hard
if
life.
what if you asked to Ricard, since he's been around the city more often, he would know the amount of posters are out there. If you show it to him and he's like, oh yeah, that's on like every other block, maybe you're more wanted than we thought. Or if he's just like, yeah, I see that occasionally here or there, that would be. That's
Yeah,
me out of
Ricard's
character.
kind of-
If you wanted to speak
Yeah.
to him, Tommy
Ricard's
wouldn't.
just eating it. Ricard's eating a sandwich and he kind of looks over at Claude and just kind of goes, "You still know how to make them the way I like them."
I say
So, I'll address Ricard directly. Hey, Ricard, have you seen my wanted poster? Like, you know anything about my backstory?
The poster?
Does anyone still have a copy of it? Thought someone. Actually, do
I
you have?
ripped one off the wall?
I found. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
somebody
ripped one
does.
off of a tree.
Yeah. I think that's the one I'm thinking about as well. Bo, do you want to show it to Ricard
Yeah.
or not?
Rickard, do you know anything? Like, what can you tell us about this old?
Yeah,
poster? Do
well,
you recognize it?
okay. Well, first of all, he reads what the crimes are at the top, and he every so often just kind of gives Tell a bit of a look. He's like, "Oh, right, okay." But as he takes a look at it further, he goes, "Well, first of all, it's a bit old. I know the sort of style of posters that go up for wanted. They don't look like this anymore. So this is an old style. So if that gives any sort of an indication of like, I haven't seen a lot of these. You're more likely to find them on, billboards outside of taverns or town squares. Sometimes a little bit outside the boundary of a town. But even then, you can generally get an indication of how wanted somebody is in terms of, like, is it at the top of the pile or is it kind of behind a bunch of younger flyers? This one seems a bit older, a bit worn. It's the old style of wanted poster. So,
Was it put up by the city, by the warden of Shield and Scales?
that would be their realm. But as you can imagine, they're not exactly the most artistic crew in the world.
Yeah.
It's very just fact, picture, money. They get to the point. So yeah, it's older style. It's probably the best indication I'd give of it. Well, I'm kind of surprised myself. I've been walking around with you this whole time. I certainly was never going to recognize you in the bright but dull clothing that you had on earlier on, But It's obviously this picture and what you're wearing at the moment is a little bit more easier to connect.
Regard,
would you necessarily be the first person that people are going to think of? I don't know. Maybe older ones on the in the security forces, possibly. A lot of the guards we've seen in this area are younger. So there's a higher volume of younger sort of cadets in this area. They're really just told what to do and very little to no autonomy in there. As you do progress, in the physically smaller areas such as the sheath and the hilt, you're more likely to get more experienced security personnel. Even some people say it's because they don't have to run as far if they're having to chase somebody, or you're less likely to chase somebody in those areas. But done no harm to me. Tell to do it, and so yeah, that's what I think.
It doesn't seem like it'll cause too much of a trouble if you come along then, Tell. Maybe you can hang back with the shadows like with Logon.
Yeah, well,
Lend you some clothes, kind of blend in.
Yeah, I might suggest I might suggest changing. Yeah, that would be
I'd
sort of
really
my
like
thinking
my
as well.
performer's outfit back.
honestly, Ricard, when I changed, I totally forgot I was wanted until your dad left, and then I remembered that I was still wanted in this town. So that's why I did that. So I will change back into my get up.
Okay.
But your brother can vouch for me. We've been on many adventure together. We fought together.
Yeah,
I told him what's going on.
I'm with you. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm just if stuff occurs with regards to the security forces, the forces of scale, they're not going to listen to me. That they have a role, they have a duty, and be seen as pulling strings, for our friends. Dad's father's only been in this role for a while now. Less than a year, so don't really want to be seen as or to be accused of pulling strings. If I hope you can understand.
Understood, and I appreciate you being honest with me. And the reason I trust you as well is because Claude trusts you. So I trust Claude.
Trust is an important thing in a group, and Tommy gives a look at Rian to get Rian again.
Rian's just tossing pieces of sandwich to Tobin.
Nice.
Yeah, and Tobin is scoffing them, and the tail's starting to wiggle a little bit, and he's doing that sort of thing where he looks up at you and he's just resting his chin on your leg.
Oh, freaking adorable!
Give some little scratches between bites.
Yeah. If you get him right behind the ear, his back leg will do that mini shake thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll change back into my colorful but dull uniform. Definitely won't go like this. I'll be hiding in plain sight again.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and Rickard goes, yeah, I think that's safe. If I'm totally honest, I certainly don't want to get you in trouble by saying the sign is old, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, over there.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely still be cautious.
Okay.
But I appreciate the candor.
Tommy made a good point that maybe not everything has been shared, so over the meal, Claude is going to make sure to explain what they saw at the dock, the suspicions there, all the clues that they found pointing towards the Seven Suns, like the blank coins, just if there's anything that maybe people weren't privy to in conversation now that we're all back together. So split off a couple of times, but
so when we get to this party, we're kind of mingling, but do you think we need to keep an eye on your dad?
I don't know if we can trust even the guard at this point. They were clearly covering something up at the docks if they were true guards of the Warden of Scales. I don't know. We know that they were targeting Truestorm, right? Whoever was going to be eating this cake at the party is both a potential target and a suspect. Because if somebody knew about it, then they would know not to, interact with it, not to touch it or eat it. Right.
That's right. Too bad that cake's gone. I wonder if we can make a mock. What's everybody's baking skills? Can we make another? Can we?
Let me
Do you
check.
think we can make? Or do you think the
Bake.
word's out that the cake's already destroyed?
You've got about maybe just over an hour now to bake a cake from scratch.
It would make it.
Tommy doesn't bake.
An amazing ornate dragon piece on top.
Yeah. Yep.
Does anybody have any spells that make cakes?
Do we have a prestidigitation? Anybody?
I don't know. No, I don't think we can go that route. I think we'll just see. Maybe we'll just keep an eye on who mingles around Truestorm.
I mean, the only people that know that the cake had been ruined is us in this room, right?
And the guards. I mean, that's a good
The
point.
investigator.
The guards were outside. It was only us
Yeah.
and Ricard that was in the.
Yeah, there was that one guard that we investigated with, like who let us in. He was holding the door.
I don't know if you saw anything in the back.
He would have been probably sticking at the front door, keeping the crowd out.
I'm sure
I
I
somebody.
think if somebody knows that the cake is messed up, then that's a good indication that they did it.
I think it's
Like
just
you're thinking.
us, the baker who's now dead, and whoever commissioned it, right?
Right.
But now that there's no cake, there's nobody to kind of like give away a sign that they know there's no cake, so we can't watch somebody not eat the cake. There's no cake to eat.
Oh my, where was the cake that was supposed to be here? That guy. Let's go question that guy.
Cake is just evidence at a murder scene.
Yeah, that's a good
That's all
point.
you have to tell people is that there's no cake because the baker was murdered, and they just have to keep everything closed off there.
Smart.
Very good point.
We
Smart.
still don't have a way to like smoke out the person who might have known about it, unless we have somebody as like an employee undercover or something.
Just walk in the party. Did anyone come excited for some cake? Raise your hand if you wanted cake.
All right, I think Bo's ready to. I don't know if we can. I don't think we're gonna make a cake.
We don't even know that anybody who would have poisoned a cake would be at the party.
That's true. No, they may not be present at all. But you think somebody would be there to make sure the plan went through?
I say we go crack some skulls at the party.
Oh.
The
Seems like
new
the
group in
best
town
idea.
is just gonna crack some skulls.
Happy birthday, Mr. Truestorm. Tell us
You
about the
fucking
cake.
comment.
Tell us about the cake.
Where is it?
Justice.
Your cake? We gonna eat it? I thought
Gonna
you were
serve
gonna
a
put it
slice
on
of
it,
justice.
You son of a bitch.
Going back to the spell thing, on this short rest, do we get any? I mean, technically, I know I don't get spells back on a short rest, but is there any sort of restoration that we get?
So short rests are where you can use hit dice to regain hit points, and there's very, very few spells that actually get recharged by short rest. They're generally associated with sorcerers. So Rian, I think you are a sorcerer, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So some of the spells that you have will have in the description. You can recharge after with just a short rest. Because I know
I
you deal
haven't
with...
used any slots since our long rest, so
Yeah, okay. I've been
no,
too
you
busy
did.
nearly dying. You know.
You didn't cast any
Must be
spells
nice.
during that fight. Oh no, you were bludgeoning everything. Yeah, during the fight with the what are the disruptors or the cats?
Big kitties.
Well, the
Wish I had
displacers.
spell
Yeah.
slots.
Displacers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
Stupid
is this
big
going to be
kitties.
count as a short rest, there, DM?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're taking the time. You're sitting there. You're sort of unwinding. You got some nice sandwiches. Yeah.
How do you use hit dice again? I'm not seeing it in D&D.
If you hit short rest. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, there we go.
You can
Take short
select
rest.
the hit dice like I have 2 out of 3, so you'll select it and you can roll a d8.
Ogon, you notice that the cloak is increasingly closer to you than it was before. Nearly latching on. It's close. It's closer to almost looking like a shadow on you.
I would like to pull out one of my daggers and prick the end of my index finger so there's a little bit of blood and hold it out towards the cloak. See how
Okay.
it reacts.
Okay. So you prick your own finger. You put it towards one of the mouths for the cloak. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's no reaction. It doesn't reach out for your finger, doesn't reach out for your hand. Nothing more than sort of a kind of groan or grumble. So,
Well, I'm stumped.
shit!
Yeah. It starts dragging you out of the house.
Well, at least you know it doesn't want your blood.
I need to, but it feeds off me though. But okay, wait, all right, whatever. All right, then. Can just the cloak and I go wash up? Can we just do that? Can we have a nice bathtub scene?
Yeah.
Yes,
I want
describe it.
I want to see. I want to see you use the cloak like one of the hair turbans. You just
Wrap it around. That thing has teeth, right?
It does.
Ducky.
Dang it. I really thought that would do something. Okay.
Well, it doesn't want my blood, so it must want a bath with me.
That was my backup plan.
That's what it is. It wants me naked.
One of two things. Water sex, I don't know.
It's either blood or sex.
Logan. Hold on.
Love it.
Logan goes from
Logan-
quiet,
Logan-
stoic
Yeah.
in the corner to coming back down with just a towel around his waist and his new creature on his head.
Logan, will you put a note on your thing for an inspiration dice, please?
Oh,
1d6.
I
Love it.
will.
Yep. Just he's trying to get that cloak going. Love it. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so sandwiches are being being eaten. Comfy chairs are being sat on. Little dogs are getting ear scratches. And basically short rests are occurring. So anyone who wants to use hit dice to recover some health, go ahead. Keep track of that number. That number will only return to full after a long rest. So, but it's almost like a bit of a temporary hit point idea. I think we're getting the entry of the fluffy zombie.
Do you know?
And I'm nothing, man. You're just off camera. Come on. You can move that shit out of the way.
Oh, I'm still in the plate.
Still in the plate. So you've just missed a father-son moment and a confusing interaction with a cloak that is either going to eat his blood or take a bath.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
Is water still wet?
Water's still wet.
Water's
We
still wet.
haven't had any investigations this week, but so far water remains wet until otherwise known.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, yeah. So we're working away there, and anyone else want to have an idea of what they want to do? At this stage, you kind of hear some rumblings in the other room. You can hear Nelson's getting ready himself, so he's starting to get to that point. Claude, you have an idea of how much effort your father puts into getting ready for these sorts of events. He makes a big deal, bit of a, every day is a potential networking opportunity for a merchant. So he's going to come out trying to look his best and get his game face on. So you have an idea of how long he's going to take before he's ready. Tell is beautifully prepared for this evening's festivities. In the insight garments. And yeah, so anybody want to do anything before Nelson comes out and probably starts to get ready for a bit of a debrief before we go to the party?
Okay, this is a little bit. Is there an armory here or any weapons room? Is there any special weapons or equipment I can gather from the house?
In your house? No. It's a merchant's house.
I thought I'd try.
You didn't hide it under your bed?
There's a full John Wick basement.
Any magical items just lying around?
And for dessert, sir.
See, this
I recommend.
This is where you test him. You'd be like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. In my closet, I had this giant magical mace that I left."
It's worth a shot.
It was given to me by my mother. Wasn't it, DM?
This is my mother's mace.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking to the group as far as if we're going to go to this party and potentially find an assassination attempt waiting for us. Are we going to have anybody go undercover? Do we all want to go dressed in like with house symbols on us? Like I can probably scrounge up clothes, some sort of official looking.
I think Bo's gonna try to convey that. I'm just gonna try to. Bo's just gonna try to like blend into the crowd and mingle.
I was gonna say maybe if we're
Bo, you had a brief moment where you kind of look around and wonder has anyone else heard this, because all you hear is a little word that goes jealous.
Oh, okay, that's not ominous.
What?
Huh?
Tom,
you're like everybody else must have heard that, but no one else has reacted to it.
So I think if we are gonna be going into the party, and maybe we should get not go as a group if we're trying to keep an eye out. So maybe a couple of us go in a little ahead, couple of us go in a little bit behind, so that it doesn't look like we're a group of people keeping an eye out at this party.
Rickard's pretty certain. Rickard's basically kind of charming in every so often, and anyone who hasn't finished their sandwich, Rickard is basically going around picking off bits and pieces because Claude's sandwiches are really, really good. So anybody he's going, he goes, I can probably get you into the party. It's like you're going to be, I can get you on the
sharing
guest
it with
list
him.
And things, yeah. So he can get you on the guest list whether you want to go by your real name or any additional names. It's not like anyone really knows your names at the moment.
Claude wants to go in because he wants to be armed, right? And his equipment is a little bit more. It stands out. So maybe some sort of guard uniform, not like city guard, because obviously I wouldn't be able to fake my way in, but maybe like house guard, like somebody who would be guarding a merchantile family.
Rickard pretty much says, Dad's gonna make sure you're fine. You're not gonna have to explain anything to anybody. We trust that you're not gonna make a ruckus unless need be. So, it's not like you're gonna get wildly drunk and cause a massive disturbance.
That's Tommy. Sorry.
Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about you getting in with your gear, even if it is bigger and bulkier and a bit more showy. Okay. Especially as one of the warden's children. So, one of the children of a warden.
Do we want a safe word, an alert word, if things go down? Something to say,
pineapple.
Hey, yeah, group on me because something's going down. Like something to flag the group.
Look, you would know the Cash Windfall is a medium-sized theater, so it's not massively sprawling. So it's not like you'd have to be trying to get everybody's attention from absolutely, hundreds of yards away or anything.
Yeah, just a word to know that we're not like we need to break cover. It's not.
Sure. What word would you like to use?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Who's got a good one?
Cake.
What was that?
Cake.
Cake? You don't think would that be too obvious? I guess if you're shouting it, cake.
It's a birthday party.
We don't have it's either that or blow a war horn. I don't know. Cake.
I mean, I feel like you can work the word
Speech!
cake into a.
Speech!
Sword drawn.
Yeah.
We can work the word cake into a conversation pretty inconspicuously.
I too would like some cake.
Are Dragonborn like? Are there many of them in this city? Would it be unusual for people to see one?
No.
Okay.
Quite hectic piers, lots of different ships, different cultures, people coming in and out. You generally see a good mix of human and lots of other races.
I guess regardless of that, if this is a theater and there's supposed to be a performance anyway and we need some place that Tell can go without being so conspicuous, can some of us be like backstage workers for the evening? We'll kind of be in the back of the theater and can watch from there.
Rickard looks interested in that idea. Rickard thinks he could probably pull a few strings.
Who wants to be a
because
server?
the Cash Windfall is kind of a club that's most associated with ourselves, with our family. It's one of our, because we are hosting after all. So if somebody wants to be sort of backstage, maybe one or two, I think is probably what I could probably pull the strings for that. Claude, I'm going to recommend that me, you, and Father stick together. We won't be able to sit at the same table as the wardens, but we'll be able to be close by.
Yeah, I definitely want to be out on the floor where I can see things.
Is there a balcony at all? We might be able to post you up there, Logan.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that's where Logan's going. If there is a balcony.
If not, we can make a balcony.
Are there rafters I can climb into?
Our rafters, yeah.
That could be the party goes.
So Claude, basically, you're picking up on the idea that obviously you know the club. There's a Cash Windfall. The key piece that stands out is this large wooden windmill on the stage, up at the top here, and you can see rafters along the side.
Huh.
Is that a kitchen in the bottom left?
Yeah. Red carpet entry, some bathrooms.
Is the windmill a set piece, or does it actually rotate?
It rotates, but it is a set piece.
Okay.
It's a mimic.
It's the theme of the club.
It turns into a Jigsaw movie. I want to play a little game.
Does it? Do we know if it has a function? Does it like activate something like a party mechanism for the club, or
the windmill part?
Yeah, or is it just for for show?
You just get it. You get the feeling that anytime you've seen it or been in there, it's the theme, the Cash Windfall. It's really just the decorative piece about it. So,
all right. So
that you know of.
So it's a 2-story. You said you were talking about balconies, so there's obviously a second floor, right?
Yeah, but there's some slightly elevated seats here. This would be 2-story. The windmill, so it's very very high curtain area, and then these rafter areas would be above that. Mostly ground floor, slightly elevated up here. So Rickard and Claude, you probably get the idea that you're most likely going to be up here, in these sort of seated areas, and then different wardens, and each of the wardens would have a table, etc. at the front.
So who wants to be in behind the scenes? Tommy, you think you want to be out in front, or mingling among the crowd as a worker?
I think I'll be among the not as a worker, just as a person among the crowd.
I think yeah.
Rickard said he could get a couple of people.
Yeah, Rickard's saying I think there's a combination of backstage, waiting staff, as well as guests. That's what he would sort of think of at the moment in terms of what he could probably do. Guests wise, it's most likely going to be Claude and Rickard himself, maybe one other guest.
Oh.
So one other guest, and then you'd imagine maybe 1 or 2 waiting staff, 1 or 2 backstage crew.
Also,
That's Rickard trying to just pitch ideas of what can happen.
Oh, okay.
But anybody could do anything. He's just pitching out ideas here.
So we need to Ocean 11's this.
I mean,
So-
staying true to character, Logan would like to go for the rafters.
I think you could get away with that if you were like a back of house person. You could just sneak off whenever you felt like. Right?
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable to me.
So this is more of an exclusive party type thing, like
Sounds
really
like it.
just the wardens and their like close family, not so much like a mingling extra crowd of viewers.
Yeah, pretty much. You'd imagine sort of kind of inner circle / coattail hangers.
Okay.
So
Bo's gonna volunteer to be a wait staff member. That way I can get among the crowd and maybe like talk to folk.
What about Tel and Rian? Rian, sorry.
Dal should
Preference,
really
but-
be backstage to keep our
Low
space.
profile.
Yeah. As Ryan, I would prefer to be in the back and not have to mingle right now, but how much space there is
Tommy's a charmer. He'll do wait staff as well with Boduk.
I see.
So wait, who's
Tommy
gonna be the
talking to
guest
guests.
then? So
me
it's
and
either
Rickard.
Yeah, but no, we get one more as well. So would it be Rian or Tel?
Rickard pitches in and goes, maybe Tommy and Rian go together as guests?
Tommy like very slowly like looks over to her like waiting for her answer.
Ryan's just passive, whatever you need.
Sure.
Tommy and Rian pretending to be a happy couple that have also been invited to the party.
Hell yeah.
The last time we did this, we burned down a tavern, so.
Let's see if you can make it 2 for 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And our trust in each other has
Claude,
not gotten better, so
I don't
you
think it's
and
gotten
Rickard-
worse though.
Claude, you and Rickard are going to be over this side of the room.
Okay.
Tommy and Rian, you're going to have this back table. That's what's going to get assigned for you guys on the other side. Bo, waiting
Sure.
staff.
Yeah, you know it. Let's try this.
Logan and Tel as backstage crew. Everyone happy with that?
Yes.
We got a plan.
Okay. And At that point, basically Nelson comes down the stairs and he goes, right, he's got his party face on, he's got his game face on. He goes, right. Come up with an idea what we're going to do? Yeah? Because we are, and he's trying to find the position of the sun, because I think we're getting pretty close to needing to make our way there. As you're sort of getting ready, you can start to hear some bells and whistles happening outside. There's a little bit of commotion going on. Nothing crazy, nothing chaotic, but and a little bit of arguing. Hey, I'm not going first. No, you're going first. You're going. Discussion
Outside the home?
inside the home. Can you kind of hear it going past?
Oh. Alright, so I guess off to the party then, everyone?
Yeah, I think. Ready to go. Ready to attend.
So, as you're going past, basically you make your way out the door, and everyone Rickard's finishing off the last of the sandwiches as they're going along. As you make your way down the street, you can see, because the sheath of Daggerford is not as large of an area as the belt is, so you can see in the general direction where you're going up the street, and you see in particular your eyes get caught by two distinct groups of people. Okay. One is a group of performers making their way towards the Cash Windfall. These are the ones arguing about who's going first, who's going second. I think I'm the headline act. I think I'm going on last. No, you're not. I performed for the great. Blah 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 blah. And you can hear all this sort of discussion, whatever. And so going, but if we're going to do the pyramid, we still need another person. Blah 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 blah. And they're all discussing. They're just making their way towards the junction between the sheath and the hilt. And while they're discussing and sort of bickering amongst themselves, you see the other group of individuals and you see a group of miners at the top, and they're going, no ore, no more, no ore, no more, no ore, no more. And they're just circling. Yeah. Circling. Yeah, that's it. Picket signs. You can see, so it's a collection of dwarfs. There's an orc. There's basically a half giant in there. There's also just a physically very large individual, and you go, no ore, no more, no ore, no more, and they're doing like basically a bit of a circle, banging their hammers and their pickaxes together. Let's seize the means of production. Seize the means of production. Seize the means of production. Go back and forth, and they're trying to just make as much noise as possible and get anybody's attention going wrong. The jesters that we're looking at goes, well, at least we don't look as stupid as those guys do. Blah blah. Caused a little bit of a nearly caused a little bit of a an attitude between everybody as you're basically making your way towards that area. Want to do anything? Anybody want to think anything as you're making your way towards? You're just stepping along towards the junction point for these two areas. Claude, Rickard, you know where you're going. You know where the Cash Windfall is. You know it's in the hilt of Daggerford.
Where are these protesters? Like, where are they at in relation to where we're going?
So the junction. So we talk about the multi sort of layer
Yep, right
of
there.
these. So pretty much here.
Gotcha.
So you have these sort of junction points. So right at this point where the sheath becomes the hilt, there's sort of just a single stairway up there. Mainly pedestrian area because it's not a physically very large area. They're right at the front, and nearby you can see some guards as well. Some of the scale guards.
Yeah.
So the warden of scale guards, they're there. They're just watching. They've got a bit of an attitude about them, but as far as they're concerned, the protesters they're not in the hilt. They're on that side. They can make noise. Fair protest. Blah 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 blah. We're not allowed to beat them up unless someone tells us to. That we're allowed to. You know, that sort of mentality about them. And the jesters that are coming along are able to. They're having to kind of bump past the miners because the miners are like trying to get in everybody's face, like it's a disgrace, no more, seize the means of production, and trying to get them involved because there'd be a lot of attention for them if the colorful jesters got involved.
Is there any particular like leader, like anybody that stands out as like leading the chant? You know what I mean, like the call and response kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
What do we want?
These two large. Sorry, go ahead.
Before we get, I wanted to get this out before we go into a different direction. I know the jesters said they needed one more for entertainment. I think I'm similarly dressed, and I could be that one more. Just putting that little note out there.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion, Bo. We could do like a Penn and Teller act. You can.
I do like that idea, but these miners are like, I don't know. They kind of gotten Bo's attention because it seems like they might have some good information.
For sure, we can talk
Maybe.
to them, but on the back burner, we'll figure it out.
The jesters hearing you say that because they did literally just talk about they're looking for someone, and as they kind of overhear that, they do look over and they do see your gear, and they're like, you can see one or two of them having the same thought as you had. They're not going to openly engage with. Yeah, they're not going to openly engage with you because you are still a stranger, but they're like, maybe, kind of talking to them. Going, so they are looking. They are looking in your direction.
I am intrigued. That could be our way in, but let's hear Bo out. I'm curious of what this information that they got for us.
So basically, right at the point that the jesters are meeting the miners, and you're all sort of, this is causing a bit of a backlog. Now, tensions are starting to rise a little bit because now the guards feel like they're going to have to intervene because while the miners previously were just making sounds, now they're not. Now they're actually getting in the way of people, and you guys are quickly kind of catching up to these two combining groups. At this point, 3 groups, if you think of the guards, the miners, and the jesters, and you're basically reaching this bottleneck at the same time.
Are any of the miners armed? Are they just are they holding tools or something?
Oh, wow.
Very much tools that if they were swung, they're definitely going to hurt. Maybe not
they're not
weapons, but they're definitely hammers and pickaxes.
Okay.
So hammers and pickaxes plus the combination of you got 3 dwarves, you got this drow character which is maybe 5'9", 5'10", a little bit taller, and then you've these 2 very large individuals as well. You can tell both of them chanting is that little half beat behind the other ones, because even though the lyrics are the same all the time, they're having to be reminded of what the actual lyric is each time. So it's more like a no or no more. Or you can tell them that they're saying the wrong lyric. If they do get them, they're out of time with each other. But they're physically very, very large, like 6'5", 6'7", large individuals.
I was gonna try to approach whoever might be leading the chant. He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, you probably think it's closer to this guy.
This dwarf. Yeah,
he seems the most sort of angry and committed, and if anybody's starting a new chant, it's probably him. So yeah.
I was gonna approach him with.
I'm gonna clog the screen here a wee bit because I want to give the idea that this is a
Crowded area.
big old crowded area. It's individuals and etc.
So my first read of the miners is this old guy with the candle feels like a boomer who doesn't want to get with the times with the other people who have lights. He's like, these kids with their fancy lights. I've been wearing this candle for 500 years. It's never failed me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Tell, please take an inspiration dice for that. Thank you very much. Love it. Okay. Tommy, did you say something? I didn't actually hear you. Tommy, mute for anybody else? Or is he talking to the
Yeah,
he's
I think
just
you're muted.
I was muted. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
he's muted.
was.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, so how about the energy sort of building, tensions are getting, guards are kind of closing in, they're starting to make some steps towards Bo. You're basically stepping up too. That is actually pretty perfectly lined up, all the miners at the top and all the jesters in the bottom.
I mean, initially, the way you described it before, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna approach the miners.
Okay.
I don't really know what he would do. Can't really think of it.
As they get together, you can tell the jesters are really just trying to get past each other, and this small one is hanging back a little bit, right beside this large one with the fairy wings on it. I think he's kind of like nudging him into his knee or whatever. He's nudging into his like thigh height, and he's looking over towards Bo, and he's going like, "Do you think he could?" That clown over here is just blowing bubbles out of his little pipe here, and he's just like, "Oh, you can ask him if you want." And they're basically looking to see if Tel makes eye contact with them before they approach.
So I think you're gonna, if you want to get in there, I think you're gonna have to approach them.
Yeah, I definitely I have no like musical talent. I don't believe. I mean, I can
Oh,
do like
you don't. Performance
like
is you don't
Believe
need
in
musical
yourself.
talent to be a performer.
I could definitely do like a magic show. Yeah, I'll approach them. Yeah,
Because you've got a mixture here that like, this guy really looks like a comedy clown. He's got a bit of a drum, but it's mainly dancing. He's performing tambourine, magic cards. He's got a monkey with a guitar, and this is really a dancer. So it's a variety show, you may say, of
Yeah.
talents.
I can do a little silliness. Yeah. I'll join the group.
Okay.
I'll approach them and talk to them. It's like, hey, you guys need one more? I'll fit right in.
Yeah, and the smallest one basically goes, "You serious? You serious? Yeah, we need a seventh guy, right? And the seventh guy, you're gonna be amazed, right? You know the Great Pyramid? Yeah, that act. That's gonna be the final stage of the show. I think you'd be perfect for it. Don't need to do much. You just need to be solid, right? You can be solid, right? Because I'm gonna get off the top and I'm gonna somersault. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great. Can I depend on you? You gonna join us? Come on, join us. He's not even waiting for your answer. He goes, come on. He's like taking you by the hand. He's been trying to be as persuasive as he can. You coming? Yeah, coming. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in.
Come on. Yeah.
I'll be your strength at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah. And at that point, he turned and goes, "Yeah, guys, we got a seventh. Yeah, come on. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, come on." And then you can basically see like the mime clown is like, and the silently blowing bubbles. The monkey is going crazy, with the guitar. This the tambourines. Is it all going unison? Cards are playing. This one at the end is dancing. He's free. He's ready to perform. All right. So He's all ready to rock and roll. Gets Steve here in the back here. It's called being a DM. It's amazing. And and they're all ready to go. So basically, yeah. And in there, so they're all ready to go. They're really excited. They're now just ready to go. They're not engaged with the miners and all. They're just breezing right past them, and Tell is alongside.
Yep, and I introduced myself as Viator to this group.
Oh, great name, kid. I love it. Love it. Might need to do a little bit of work, though. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, but anyway, we'll work on it. We're working on it. It'll be great. It'll be great. Okay? Viator! Yeah, actually, it's pretty good. It's a good announcement name. Love it. Love it. Ooh, great. Didn't even think of it. Kind of wish I came up with it myself. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. That's great. Cool. Let's go. Go, 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 go. And they're all excited and they're all ready to rush off. And the miners are going, no, oh, no more. Of making stuff. Yeah. Yeah. You know, they're just making sounds and beating against the wall and stuff. And the guards have kind of eased off a bit because this mini confrontation seems to be diffused at the moment. And basically everyone's sort of ready to sort of pass through towards the Cash Windfall. Okay? So, as you can imagine, as the group is passing through, anybody want to interact with the miners, now's your chance. You're about to go past them. Otherwise, Viator, the entertainer, is being whisked away excitedly by the rest of the jesters towards the rear of the building. Logan, if you're looking to go that direction as well, you'll be able to follow. They won't really notice you following. They're sort of more concerned and working on their routine and stuff together.
Now you're talking my language. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So you can kind of make your way off in that direction if you're looking to make that direction. You can kind of see the side of the building. You can see areas you could potentially either scale up, or there's like a wine cellar door, you know, but I know you're looking to get up high, but that might be a way to get into the building, or just going through the back door with the rest of the entertainment and make your way to the rafters from there. Okay?
I'll go in the back door.
Yeah, go in the back door, just kind of sneak on past, you know, I'm with the entertainers, I'm with them, and they're happy enough sneaking. There's so much color and excitement and activity around these guys joining, and you're able to kind of blend in quite easily with them. Okay.
Hey, DM, Cloud will stop and talk to the miner leader real quick, and just wants to ask him kind of like what, now that he's heard some rumors of poor working conditions and safety issues, just kind of approach him and ask, what's, you're the leader of these employees, of these workers?
There are no leaders amongst us. We are together in this fight against negligence.
Teamwork's great.
We will not surrender.
All right, buddy.
I know. I didn't do that one for the Northern Ireland crew.
Usually you want somebody in charge, though, right? I mean...
No, that's what they want. They want to divide us. We're together.
Oh, okay. Of course you're together. Like, I'm not doubting that by any means, but you want somebody to kind of, like, be a representative or, like, like organize. Like, is that you?
I think of myself as the best communicationer of the group.
That's what I'm looking for. What kind of issues are you all facing? What's the problem?
Cousin died in the mines. His brother died in the mines. We are not supported with the coin that we need for the risks that we take, and it's Truestorm, and we've seen accidents rising and more coin being taken out away from us, and it's starting to be the death of us.
So you're saying that proper safety measures aren't being taken, corners are being cut, it's causing injuries and death?
I would agree with that, and I think coin is a big part of that, as he looks at your Marcel armband.
Mm-hmm.
Very pointed whenever he says that.
I understand, and it's coming from Truestorm, Sir Truestorm. These these cuts to your quality.
Yeah, the warden of mineral. He is, it is the biggest export from these shores. We believe we deserve a bigger piece of the coin that flows through this town.
And he's not providing that to his employees.
We're not asking a lot. We just want to know that when we go down into the mine, at the end of the day, we will come back out of that mine. That is a lot to ask for. To know that when you go to work, that you will come home.
No, I absolutely believe that an employer should take care of his employees, and it is his responsibility to make sure that you're not mistreated, that you're safe. And when did these issues arise? When did you notice changes?
There's been a gradual downhill motion, a sinking, if you will, of standards across the entire organization. At least a couple of years. We have had enough.
Okay.
So I hope you enjoy your little dinner party. Just, you provide a solution now, or are you just yapping your gums?
True change takes time, friend, but I thank you for your time, and I would like to help.
Well, okay. I apologize. I haven't had a lot of support. I do appreciate your words, but we all know that words don't change a lot on their own. Action is needed to be taken.
I agree. All right, and Claude, obviously there's not a lot he can say, so he's gonna give the man a respectful nod and part ways.
At that point, he just gives you a very slight nod, but he's trying to hold a grimace on his face, but he's definitely a bit of a nod towards you, and then turns back to the group. No more.
After that conversation, Bo's going to try to, as the group's leaving, he's going to nonchalantly, kind of like, I would say, kind of inconspicuously go talk to that dwarf as well, like not trying to be associated with the Marcels.
Okay.
He's like, so hey brother, so what's the? I hear your plight. What's the plan? I mean, you seem like you're all. You said no talk. I heard your conversation. No talk. No talk. Or words mean nothing. Action is key. So how do you all plan on making a change?
Do you mind if I ask why you're inquiring along this line of questioning?
Oh, it just seems like there's
Stranger.
It seems like there's a lot of civil unrest going on right now, and possibly a lot of corruption, maybe that this city really deals with. And I mean,
I don't know what those fancy terms mean, but things are not right, and money is going into people's pockets that I don't agree with.
Sounds like you know exactly what corruption is, sir. That's exactly what it is. It seems like there's a lot going on at the top, and the people at the bottom are the victims.
We are literally being buried in the ground while alive, just for going to work.
How much longer can you go to work like that? That's a real question.
Let's see. But change needs to happen.
How are you guys? And that's
fancy rhymes like the one I came up with for this aren't.
Sir, that is going to be stuck in my head from now until I go to sleep.
Always thought of myself as a bit of a lyricist.
It's quite good. So, but other than a fancy rhyme, I mean, what can I do to help you?
Do you think you can help us?
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear you out. I hear your plight.
Could you investigate just how difficult it is to get into the Cash Windfall if somebody, say, wanted to have a drink, say, this evening?
Sounds like it's going to be quite difficult for someone, especially in your outfit, your attire, of your nature, to be admitted in.
I agree. Without a little bit of support on the inside.
What's the plan after getting inside?
Negotiations can begin.
Negotiations.
As he
huh?
holds his hammer.
So it sounds like you already have.
An excellent negotiator.
Poe's not too intimidated because he knows he's not threatening him, but
don't mean with kind words if you didn't get my meaning. I meant with the hammer, in case it was too subtle.
Oh, it was.
I don't really mean negotiations. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, I hear you, sir. And it sounds like. Is it?
Thought it was a little bit subtle. So I thought I'd just talk.
No, you actually might want to tone it down before someone gets the wrong idea. You do. There are.
Like, do you want me to whisper? Is that what you mean?
No. I
Tone
mean,
it
maybe
down.
stop motioning so well with your hammer. It seems almost aggressive. You don't want to get stopped before. There you go.
I get you. You're a smart one. So can you help us or not?
That is yet to be determined. I haven't been there, but I will keep an eye out for y'all.
Appreciate it.
Is there any particular type of signal I should wait for?
I generally will be on the lookout for a door to be open.
A door to be open.
At a good signal. I could also fit through a window. Or is that a sign? Or do you want one of our signs?
I want one of your signs.
He takes one of the placards and goes, is this the sign?
That's perfect. I'll take that.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yes, a sign, of course.
No, so
a sign,
a signal to know that you're there and ready.
Oh, okay.
Is there something you can do? A whistle, maybe a discreet, maybe not necessarily when you're
negotiating.
All right, sounds good. I'll keep an eye out for you, and maybe if I can get a chance to allow you in, I'll see if we can sneak you in.
Would it be too hang on the wall and make a hole? Would that work?
I mean, if the door isn't open, you got to make your own, right?
I know what you're thinking. If I don't hear from you, we'll go through the wall.
Oh, yeah.
All right, friend. I appreciate your assistance. I look forward to meeting you again. I hand him his sign back.
I appreciate your assist. Appreciate your help.
Help. There you go. You are a very fine communicator, sir. What was your name?
Beauregard.
Beauregard. Nice to meet you. I'm Boduck. You can call me Bo.
You can call me Bo.
Nice to meet you, Bo.
Nice to meet you too, Bo.
We'll see you later.
See you
later. Jake, could you add
catch up with them.
Could you add terrorist group to your inventory, please?
I'm a social butterfly.
Oh,
Allies
yeah.
and organizations.
So now, if we don't get killed from the inside, we have some other people coming in to cause problems.
Were they carrying explosives or just pickaxes?
They're just
Hammers.
negotiating.
Before I leave, can I do a
Yes.
perception check to see what equipment they have? No, I'm just kidding.
I
yeah,
mean,
so
miners would have TNT.
Yeah, I didn't think they would have. I mean, they're just doing their protest out there. I wouldn't
Are they?
expect it. I mean,
Are
out
they? 'Cause-
out there where we saw them. Yes,
Talking about making holes and
I am going to. Bo, I will definitely convey this information.
all of the communication are
Yeah,
all about it.
I was gonna say the extra
good
vowels
friend,
he
Bo.
added to gradual was hilarious. Gradual.
so I'm gonna try to catch up to the group.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, as you're coming up to the roadway, so you kind of zoom in a little bit away from that picture there. You're just going to see some security guards. Jesters are making their way up this way. Tell and Logan basically slipping into the back door there. And at the moment, we have Claude with Rickard. We have Tommy with Rian. And we have Bo. All at the moment approaching from the back. Bo, you're at the back because you conducted negotiations with the miners.
Yes.
Okay.
As we get like almost up to the front door, Tommy puts his arm out for Rian. Come along, dear.
Rian's gonna like very as little touching as possible. Put hand on the elbow, like it's just placed just barely.
Tommy obviously has never been married, but this is his best attempt at what he thinks a couple going to a fancy party should look like. So he like puts his arm out to like escort.
look like a real like rich couple that hates each other. You're doing a great job, guys.
I think it's a great one. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nothing
Don't
could
get
be more
any ideas
natural.
here, sloppy sailor.
Just don't you get weird with that. Did you bring out of character, did you bring that headband with you?
I'm wearing it.
Oh fuck. Alright.
Sleight of hand check to pull it off.
Okay. Claude and Rickard, you approach the door first.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
soon as you arrive, straight in. They know who you are. Straight in. Behind them, Tommy and Rian are there, and security stops you. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Animals aren't allowed in the Cash Windfall. They look down and Tobin is at your leg beside you.
He's a support animal. By law, you can't question why we need him.
Okay, this is the second time the DM doesn't know what to say.
Sounds
Okay.
like she's trying to persuade her.
Does sound like a persuasion check.
Well,
How many are you going to assist with that deception?
17 plus 2, 19.
She's got it. I'll let her.
Yeah, she has got it. She goes, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh my god, I got in trouble for asking this the last time as well. Okay, just come on. Take a seat. We'll get a bowl of water brought over to your table straight away. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. Step aside, let you two through. Okay. But
Yeah.
approaching the front door, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna try to. Is there side entrance for waitstaff?
You can see a couple of individuals walking over to the right-hand side of the building, kind of scuttling in, one or two of them talking together, but most of them generally sort of single file and just kind of head down and just.
I'm gonna follow them.
Hold on, that's fine. They are basically making their way over towards the door on the right-hand side, and all of them, right before they go in, They're basically showing their waistcoat to somebody at the door, and they're just going right past, showing the waistcoat. Just going in. As you
Yeah.
approach the doorman.
Yeah, I'm gonna show them my waistcoat. Pretend.
Okay.
Act.
Yeah. Sleight of hand or deception check, whichever one's the best for you. You're basically going to convincingly try to do it like so quick. It's like, yeah, I do this all the time.
Where's deception? We'll
Blues
do
Brothers
deception.
with the
I was-
quick flash.
Yeah, that'd be a 19.
Yep. Straight away in. You've basically watched everybody going in. You've kind of matched their attitude. Your performance is kicked in. And you just went and just straight in. No problem. You can tell this guard doesn't really care that much. Like, he's just like,
Yeah.
come on in. Come
Just
on in.
look like you
know,
belong
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's all about confidence.
Okay, cool. So at that point, basically, Bo, you're making your way up this side along the outside. There's a small corridor along here. It's going to bring you towards this kind of bar area,
Oh yeah.
right? This is where you're going to enter on this side.
Oh, can I be a bartender?
Well, there's going to be other bartenders there, so yeah, you just got to convince them. But it's up to you whether they know each other or how easily you can kind of slip into that and what you can convey that. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So it's up to you what you want to do.
Sorry, I
but
got
you're gonna be-
excited about that. I'm down.
That's
yeah,
right. That's all right. You're going to start off in this area. Tommy and Rian, you're going to take your place up at this table. Pretty much as soon as you sit down, another waiter comes up really, really quickly with a bowl of water and puts it right beside Tobin. He's going, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Hope you have a great evening. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And just backing away from you.
Thank you, sir.
Claude and Rickard, front row table here. Tell, you are among your jester buddies. He's getting really excited, trying to figure out the routine. You basically have a spot at the base of the pyramid. So it's not a pivotal one because you're still they know you're inexperienced with this trick, but it's just you just gotta lay down. You just gotta be solid. After you do your performance earlier in the evening. And while this is all going on, Logon, you're able to see like a ladder that's able to bring you straight up to the rafters if you choose to do so.
I definitely choose to do so. And the cloak follows me.
The cloak follows you, absolutely. So you're right up in the rafters, which is great. Okay, on this side here. Let me get that on this side. Okay, fantastic. MC of the evening comes out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the festivities. We want to wish a very happy birthday. You can see a lot of the other wardens. You guys are amongst the last ones to arrive at this party. So you're really taking your seat as the kind of the lights start to dim. Everything starts to happen as we go along. We've got a fantastic evening of entertainment today. We're wishing a birthday to one and only Truestorm, Kurdan Truestorm, and he stands up and he's like, so he's basically a very small individual. Art is going wild beside me here. Yeah. So Kurdan Truestorm, Dorman individual, looks very well kept. He gets off his seat, but he actually is shorter when standing than he is when he was sitting on his seat. So he actually dropped down a little bit. Okay. Kind of a gruff face. So he's just looking around. As you can see along the other warden tables, there is, of course, right in front of Card and Claude is his dad, Nelson, here. Kurdan on this side, front row. Other front row table has one seat missing because standing near the back is Delilah Brunswick. Over to the right-hand side here, the table closest to Tommy and Rian with their back to you is a figure in a very simple garment. Just if anything, just the hair is wet down, close when it comes to styling. And then the final tables is This lady. Yeah. Here. As you can tell, the way people are looking at them and they're being introduced, these are clearly the wardens for each of the areas. Claude, you're recognizing basically all of these individuals. So as far as you're concerned, there's been very little kind of turnaround in terms of who these positions were. In particular, Cornelius Drummer, which is the Warden of Faith that you would recognize as well from Temple of the Helm history. Okay. Each of these individuals, you'll see there's a very large placard right in the middle of their table. I'm going to see if I can get these in the right order. They're going to be underneath.
Nicely done.
And those align with each of the people. There's a large placard right in the middle of the table, almost in place of flowers, where a large bouquet of flowers would be. There's like an ornamental symbol with regards to each of these warden areas. Okay. And dinner's coming out, and jesters are starting to perform. You get told that you are on 4th out of 7. So you're figuring out exactly what your routine is going to be while the first 3 are coming out. And while this is happening, drinks are being served. Bo, you're walking around the room or you're behind the bar. You're basically dealing with orders as they come in. Tommy and Rain are engaging at the side. And basically the dancer comes out, and it's an amazing interpretive dance performance. And you can see that he's channeling the hostility of the miners, which creates a bit of an angry face with Truestorm. But then goes in with the waves, and you can see that matches up with the other tables. And you can see that he's basically doing interpretive dances for each of the wardens as it goes along. Yeah. Second jester comes out. It's the monkey and the player. Bo, you're not particularly impressed. It's good. It's okay. But,
how's the monkey's performance?
Yeah, so you kind of get the feeling that the monkey's the gimmick. The monkey is almost like the sleight of hand, distraction that a magician would use to kind of overcome. It's like the fact that yes, they've got a guitar and a monkey. Maybe you should have just picked one and done that properly. Okay. Third one to come out is Bubble Mime. It's an amazing performance. People love it. The bubbles, all sorts of intricate shapes. And then Viator, comes out onto the stage. And Viator, what's your party trick?
I was just thinking about this. So I pull off my hat and I wave a wand around and I pull out a rabbit of light and I start doing like a light show and a magician act as I'm on stage.
This has really got their attention. Like, this is like, you've seen what performances have happened so far, and nothing compares to this so far. If there's a performance check done on your dice, so the potential is there for amazingness.
Well,
yep. So what happens is basically it is clearly a rabbit that you've appeared. It's making slightly sort of jagged, kind of slightly awkward movements, but it is still going along and is still making enough of a show for you to be able to continue. And then you start getting the crowd going, more animals, more animals, more animals, more animals. So they want more animals. What's the next animal you're going to perform?
a horse. So
Horse.
next,
Wow, What about that performance check?
Yeah.
0 to 100.
Really?
12 again.
Well, this is a perfectly accurate horse as far as you're concerned. Some of the jumps look a little bit awkward. So it almost seems like it's not quite buffering or connectivity issues, but there's a little bit of that when it comes to the use of the wand. But it's definitely a horse. It's still springing around, going over your head. One more, encore, encore. They want a third animal.
Third animal. All right, it's time for Tiger.
Ooh, Tiger.
Here we go.
Oh, suspense.
Can't make this up. 12.
It is a perfectly normal. The consistency on board in this show is like people thought maybe the first one was a bit of nerves or whatever. No. This is the show. This is what it's meant to be. This is nothing else is compared to. So you are the greatest light showman of animals this crowd has ever seen. It's just that's the standard. That is the mark that everyone else has to meet to. And this tiger is wrapping around your legs and the sound and all. It's amazing. It's incredible. And people are just you're not quite getting a standing ovation, but you're getting a really good hearty clap from everybody. Like
Tommy's doing that loud, like 2 fingers in the mouth from the back, just real loud. Yeah.
Brienne's rolling her eyes and just like, these rich people are so easily amused.
Claude's hamming it up. He's standing ovation.
Brian, when you look down, Tobin was loving that show and kind of senses the tone in your voice. You not really getting it, so he's like, "Okay, well, not supposed to enjoy this." So he sits down again.
Well, Brienne still wants to keep the connection with Tobin, so I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion real quick and just have a little squirrel that he can play with under the table.
Well,
goes mad now. He is furiously chasing this thing under the chairs. It is going really loud, really disruptive. If anything, it took away slightly a bit of attention that Viator was having that he's kind of probably using to get off stage at the moment. Tobin doesn't. This is a squirrel. He's going for it.
What are you doing? Knock it off.
He's having fun. What a good boy.
And the wait staff are really angry at this, but then they see you, and it's like, and you can see like whispers, like, "Oh, that's our support dog. That's our support dog. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't say anything. Don't say anything." And go from there. Okay, fantastic. Then the show continues. Jester 5 comes out. This is the smallest individual, and he's doing cartwheels and tricks and so real acrobatics. And he's completing massive spins with lots and lots of twirls, even for his diminutive size. He's just creating such clearance from the ground. It's absolutely amazing. The acrobatics on this guy is absolutely incredible. And then, unfortunately, the show they didn't plan this well when it comes to planning who the shows are, because the 2 drummers are on in a row, and the second one suffers because the first one came on and they're not really that different. So they're like, okay, a bit of a pitter-patter sort of clapping or whatever, and next thing the smallest of the jesters at the back gets like a loud voice. You can tell he's using prestidigitation, because he's making his voice really loud. He's like, for the final act, the Great Pyramid. All right. At that moment, Viator comes out. The mime fairy comes out. Both of the drum dancers, they make the bass. Okay, and then the monkey guitar player and the dancer get onto the second level. Viator, can you do a strength saving throw for me, please, to maintain the weight of these 2 individuals?
12. +2 though. 14.
14. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. You're holding the weight. It's only basically one end of it that you're holding up, which is absolutely fine. And then right at that point, the smallest individual, they basically he leaps and he jumps and he twists and he turns and he basically lands up perfectly up onto the top of the pyramid. And there's confetti coming from a wand that he has, and it's just been really, really well received. This show so far, people are cheering. It's fantastic. When all of a sudden, boom!
Dang! I didn't even get a chance to warn him.
Massive explosion from the front door, and the miners have charged in. The miners, they've been inspired to charge in. It goes, down with Truestorm! And they're all charging in from the back. This was a great idea! They're all charging through, and just, it's going chaotic. There are guards flying towards the back. The jesters are frozen on stage. They're frozen on stage in terms of what's happening and what's going on. Then all of a sudden, knife flies through the air. Not from the direction of the miners. And there's now 8th jester on the stage who appeared from the right-hand side of the stage while the chaos was going on. At that moment, the knife flies through the air. It's going towards Truestorm's table, but with such velocity, Truestorm is able to move. The table behind him is Nelson Marcel's table.
Can I do?
Odd split second reaction.
Claude's running towards his father.
Okay. What do? You're running towards him. The knife is coming through the air. You've dealt with the explosion. It's coming right towards your father.
I have protection with my pale wind charm, so I can protect from 10 feet away.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and shield him.
Yep. Okay. Fantastic. I'm going to roll here. Okay. So can you do, was that dexterity? Is that a saving throw? Is that strength based? How are you looking to defend him?
You can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Okay. Right. Good. Okay. So that's 13 for him.
How close is Rian?
At the far end of the room. So
Within 30
we're
feet?
on the left.
basically get rid of all these guys. They've all scattered. Ian, you're over here. Tommy, you're here.
That dude's awesome.
8th jester
that's
coming down this way. Truestorm, Marcel table. You're coming from this way. You're looking to move that projectile. You would have had to clear this, make it round, make the save. This all happened in a split second. You are able to move your father. It does cut his arm as it gets out, so it drives it off course. It was going towards the middle of his chest with that there, but you're able to knock it off course, and it does embed into his arm. So he goes down, he hits the ground, but you're there with him pretty much to catch him as he's falling. Okay? As that happens, this jester, he's ripping off these parts of metal from the side of his thing. He's ripping them off, and he's throwing them, and he's definitely going towards the wardens.
Can I do a perception check?
Yep.
I want to perceive if I saw Logan go up into the rafters or not.
Yep.
Oh no.
I want to do something once we
11.
do Tommy's.
So did you No, you didn't see him because it would have been he would have been backstage, and you
Okay.
were trying to come in with Tobin, etc. So you don't know he's there.
Since I'm
yep.
since I'm the closest, can I like tackle him?
Yeah, of course. So go for a strength check.
Well,
12.
It's 10 plus 2 and 12.
Yeah. So it is. So you're making your way towards him. You're in this new gear. You're not quite used to this clothing in terms of your normal sort of action ability, and he very easily almost swats you away. It's like you get flipped over, and he just swats you away. He doesn't even look at you, like it's just full on looking straight. You were coming toward him, he just went, so flung you off to the side. Can everybody roll initiative?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
It's my initiative +4.
Fuck.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you,
What is
22
going
for
on?
Logan.
Damn,
Logan.
I got bowed up. Yeah, Bo had a 12.
The 12.
I'm
Okay.
about to pull out my actual dice. This is crazy. 12
Take.
plus 1, 13.
For Tell. Yep. 13. Okay, Tommy.
13.
And Ryan.
7.
7. Claude.
4.
Claude, you're very much just focused at the moment. Just you're basically almost kind of covering your father. You're just down on the ground, laying over him, watching all of this happen. Okay.
Cake.
Okay, Logan, you're up. What do you want to do?
Oh, I'm going straight for that kneecap. I've been
Okay.
teasing it for too long.
Yeah,
Time to make it happen.
go for it.
I have to remember how to actually do this.
Roll a d20, and then on your sheet it'll say whether it's longbow or whatever. It'll give you a plus number.
Kidding me? I got it, but it's
Yep.
only a 9.
Yeah. Okay. So rafters are a little bit shaky for you. You basically panic. You've heard the explosion from the back. The rafters are sort of wooden and rickety. So while you were taking your shot and all this commotion was happening, people running past, and Tell making that dive at his knee slightly forced you to change direction, so you didn't impale into him, and it basically missed. So it's plugged into the ground in front of him, but it hasn't hit. Okay. You want to do any movement or reactions or bonus actions?
No, I'm going to stay right where I am.
Right, and then we have Jester number 8. Just continues walking straight down, slaps a guard that's trying to encroach on him straight off the bat. It's a very determined walk, very straight. It knows exactly where it's going. Nothing really gets in its way. It's stamping on it. It's about 6'2" individual with this large, heavy armor. You can tell the clothing is probably more padded than it is stocky filled. So it's a little bit costume-esque, so it doesn't quite fit him like full-on muscle-wise. And when it goes there, and every so often, Claude, will you do a perception check for me?
I will indeed.
Because obviously you're trying to sense coming towards your father and all.
Perception. 13.
Cool. As it is stepping, you can tell that its right leg is a little bit shorter of a stride than its left leg, which is reminding you of something. You don't know why. You're in the panic moment. Something's happening, right? This is weird. This very, very determined walk. Okay? And it's going through, and it rips off another bit of metal from its side, and it flings it again at Truestorm.
Can I use a reaction real quick? Using a bardic inspiration, I can subtract a the number from the creature's roll using cutting words. So I'm like, as I see him throwing that next one, I'm gonna do what I did before and whisper into my hands and cast cutting words. So it's creature what I see within 60 feet. Whenever they make an attack roll, I roll, I guess, a d6. It says I rolled Bardic Inspiration and subtract that number. So -2.
But as this is being flung towards Truestorm, he's able to basically knock the table into the way, and the blade, with that little bit of a distraction in his ear, goes into the table in line with Truestorm. But as I said, Truestorm's small compared to the thing, so it goes into the table but doesn't hit Truestorm. Truestorm's able to still make a break for it as he's running through the crowds. However, he's running towards all of those miners. That's the direction he's running. Because he's just terrified. He's running in that direction. Okay? So that's his go, and this thing is just still stamping towards after him. You can see it's starting to pick up a little bit of pace. It's starting to get a little bit lighter on its feet. So it's starting to move with a bit of pace. It's not a big, solid, stumpy walk anymore. It's actually got a bit of agility to it as well as it starts to run after Truestorm. Okay. Who is next? I have Tell or Tommy. Could you both roll a d20 and tell me who gets the higher one, please?
9.
18.
18. Okay. Tell, you're going to use half your movement to stand up if you choose to do so, but you go first.
Yeah, I want to stand up and try and strike him. Are we allowed to have our weapons at this point? Like, can I pull out my mace or... Okay.
Yep.
Can I pull out my mace and swing at him?
Yeah, you won't be able to make the distance because you used half your movement to stand up, so you can move towards him, but you won't reach him. Okay?
Okay. So instead, can I pull out my crossbow instead and then chamber it? And then get ready to shoot?
Yep.
Okay. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, cool. Tommy.
Can Tommy, from where I'm at, close the distance to be within 30 feet of this guy?
Yep.
All right.
So he is basically making his way down here. So he's got off the stage and he's making it down this way. You're only here, so you could definitely easily close the distance to be within 30 feet.
Okay. Then Tommy is going to get within 30 feet and pull his pistol out and shoot it at this lumbering creature while yelling "Assassin!" just for any other, the hopes that any other staff or other people will also join in. Does a 12 hit? Hold on.
12 does not. Yep.
So okay, never mind. It's too late.
No, go ahead. I said too quickly. What are you thinking?
I was gonna use my inspiration because I had a feeling that 12 wasn't gonna be enough. So.
Yep, go for it.
That's a 6 with inspiration dies, right? D6.
Yep.
It's a d6,
Yep.
yeah.
D6.
14.
So yeah, so it does. It clinks at that armor. You can tell it does do a little bit of damage. It isn't really enough to shift it. What you also notice as well, so you can roll for damage. Yeah.
Okay.
What you'll notice as well is even though it hits, it doesn't make a sound. As in the enemy doesn't make a sound. You don't hear a groan. You don't hear you don't hear anything. You just get it right in under the shoulder.
I hit for 9.
That's a great hit. And what you'll notice as well is there's a little mask it's got on, and it starts to fall off a little bit. Okay. So that mask starts to fall off a little bit. Okay.
Can I?
Fantastic. Sorry,
can I bonus action hide behind
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to see what's around there. Either
there's like these barriers to any of these tables, so there's the plenty of space you can kind of duck down.
Okay. I need to roll to hide, right? I need to roll to hide, or is it just a bonus action you hide?
Oh, Yeah, you roll, and then that kind of determines if the person saw you. You
Okay.
can try to hide. It's how successful that hide is.
Which
Oh yeah, you do a dexterity stealth check.
stealth check? Okay. 8.
You duck down. You did notice that this thing didn't even look in your direction.
Okay.
Even though you hit it, didn't look in your direction.
Okay.
So you have a good idea it hasn't tracked your movement. Okay. Bo, you used a bonus action, is that correct? Or a
I
reaction?
used a reaction.
You used
Yeah,
a
my
reaction. Cool. So you still
Yeah.
got movement and action.
Yeah. Real quick. So are the miners? Is Bo here?
Yeah, Bo's at the front. Bo was like the first one to go like, so he's like kicking in.
Okay.
His face is still kind of covered in soot and dust because like even as the rubble and the thing was all happening, like he just went straight through.
I'm gonna shout out to Bo. Bo, remember you can't negotiate if he's dead. So we gotta take this. We gotta focus in on that guy. And as I'm doing that, I'm gonna. How far away am I?
Over here from the bad guy.
Yeah. From the jester.
From the jester. I'm gonna go 60 feet.
Yeah. All right.
Still have your movement, but I'm gonna say 60 feet.
Sounds good. I'm gonna close the gap as much as I can and grab. I'm gonna toss one of those chairs if I can at it.
Yep. Okay. Look at that meme from the mummy, you know, where it's like, "Hey, Benny." That's the chair.
But yeah, so I'm gonna try to. I guess I'm gonna try to throw that chair 30 feet, and that's an attack roll. Would that be an unarmed, or what would that be?
Yep.
Okay.
You're a loud whisper in your head. Jealous.
That's an 18.
Okay, that's gonna hit. And basically just once again, it smacks off him. It doesn't budge him. Like he's still very determined to go on the way, but still, it's causing damage. You can still roll for damage.
Okay.
Unarmed. I'm trying to remember what unarmed damage is.
Well, it's 1, but I don't know if this was an improvised.
I think it's like a 1d4 or something.
Do you want to look it up, B?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I threw a chair, so 1d4. We'll go with that. Once I get be at 2.
Tavern brawler.
I hate you in that.
Yeah.
Fucking hate
Right.
you.
We'll go with 1d4 plus 1. Okay.
So that'd be a 3.
Yeah.
3
So once
damage.
again, smacks off against his left thigh, like so you can tell that area. If that hit you, it'd probably give you a dead leg, and it'd be quite a lot of bruising. This thing just continues moving forward, and the mask does shift a little bit further, so it's starting to kind of go half like this off his face. Okay.
That's it for me.
That's for you, Rian.
So can I use a cantrip and a spell? Or is that two different things?
Yeah, well, if you've
Taking
got the because you're the sorcerer, so you've got the what's it called, the magic points, sorcery points.
Yeah.
Do you sorcery points?
Yeah, so I could
No.
cast a spell with use some slots and
yeah,
then do a cantrip.
yeah, exactly. One I think is called, I think it's like quickened or something like that. Allows you to do a spell and a cantrip. Yeah.
I'm just gonna cast the second level magic missile, so I have 4 projectiles.
Okay, fantastic. So magic missiles, did you say? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that they automatically hit. So you're rolling. I think it's 1d4 plus. Or is it just 1d4s
It's gonna be 4.
altogether? So you've rolled all 3 of them.
She said she was going to do the
Yes,
second
magic
level.
missiles. And pew, pew, pew. Oh, second level. Well then, yeah.
It's 5, 5, 4, and 2.
16.
Oh. Yeah, 16 points of damage. So yeah, so if anything, these things coming in from this side hitting it, it's like boom, boom, boom. You do actually see them making a little bit of movement, like it's causing it to kind of almost step back a little bit, but it's still walking through these things as it goes along. And this mask is increasingly, it's just starting to hang off now, like this. Then, Rian, do you want to do any movement?
I forgot the guy's name.
Who are you trying to
The
remember?
cake. One
Oh,
that he's-
Truestorm?
Truestorm.
Yeah.
Yes, Truestorm. Where is he at this?
He is basically running this way. So he's running past this table towards the front, and the explosion, basically from the back, is in this corner. So
I'm gonna Misty Step then as a bonus action between Truestorm and the big jester.
the jester. Okay, so you're going to stand in between them. Okay, fantastic. Cool. And is that your turn?
After I yell at Tobin to stay.
Okay,
Under the
cool.
table. Stay,
Okay.
boy.
Yeah, Tobin's lost at the moment. Like he was looking for that squirrel, and the squirrel just disappeared. So he's like, it's okay. And so that's got him distracted enough that he's going to stay there. Okay. And Claude.
Yeah. Is there any on my father's wound? Is there any like anything that looks like poison? Is it black or is there any? Can I tell?
Actually, you can.
I can.
Okay. Yeah, it's starting to kick in.
Okay.
So it just scraped along the arm, so it still is embedded in his arm, but at least it's not like directly in his chest near the heart. So it's near his arm, and it's starting to spread out a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna use the last 5 points of my lay on hands to restore 5 hit points and neutralize poison on my father.
Okay,
That's my
so
action.
what you see is your dad, he's starting to convulse a little bit as this is starting to spread through his bloodstream. And he goes, and you hear Rickard back goes, "Father!" Like, and he's jumping over the barricade as well. And he's right beside you now. He lapses unconscious, but you see that sort of blackness of where the poison was just seep out to where the entry point of that tip was. So it's not spreading. So it's done its job, but he's passed out basically with the pain. Passed out with the pain and the shock to the system, but it has stopped that bit of poison. Yeah.
Okay. And then you said the jester. So the jester's walking straight forward. He's looking at Truestorm, right?
Yeah. So at the moment he's looking straight. So you're over here.
Perfect.
And he's basically walking straight this way, and you've seen Ray and Misty step into the way.
Okay. I'm going to use my movement to put myself between him and his target.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to channel divinity, vow of enmity. So I can choose a creature within 10 feet and gain advantage on attack rolls against it for 1 minute, or until it is defeated. HP drops to 0.
Okay. Fantastic. You step in front of this channel divinity, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to see this mask is swinging left and right in front of you, and something's catching your eye.
Do I recognize it? Can I roll for it, or is it just?
You recognize it, so this is looks almost like a zombified version of your friend Niall.
Motherfucker.
So obviously, excuse that the costumes
Is yours, Claude?
Where's Claude? Claude's in front of you.
I said friend of yours, Claude? Actually said
meant-
motherfucker.
No. Mentor.
Yeah, so obviously, I just thought the pictures were cool, so I went with that. Why they don't match up. But yeah, so this thing is swaying in front of you, Claude, the jester. And as it goes like this, you start to see more and more, and it's just recognizing that it is Niall.
Okay.
He's not looking at you, though. He is still looking directly over you, and he's still looking very much towards Truestorm. At that point, Rain, you had misty stepped in front or between Truestorm and the jester, the assassin. All of the miners converge on Truestorm, and they basically each get like an arm and a leg, and they're just hoisting this guy out through the hole that they burst in the wall. And he's like, "Let go of me! Let go of me! Let go!" And they're just taking him, and they're just going, "No, or no, more, no, or no." And everyone's just panicking, charging out of this thing. The only thing that then happens is you see Delilah Brunswick charge right behind the assassin, and she has basically kind of a large axe, one of those double-handed axe things, and she swings it right into the back of the assassin. It again does not flinch, but that strike is the first thing to make it stop, because it's literally stuck, it's embedded into the back of it. And he turns, and he just swipes so ridiculously hard right across her face. You just see her head go.
Oh.
What? Fuck. This is going to be hard to explain.
At that moment, and by the time he looks around, Truestorm's gone, Brunswick's down, Marcel is down on the ground, and just stops and just it doesn't see Truestorm anymore, and just begins to turn, and it runs towards the middle of the stage. And its last moment, you can see Logan as it comes to your turn again. What you're going to see is it raises its hand up, and almost the equivalent of like a mini grappling hook goes straight up. So it's going to look to zoom straight up into the rafters.
Was I close enough for a reaction?
Yeah. Opportunity strike.
Opportunity. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you. Can I do it with non-lethal damage?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to roll as he moves away from me. Would I roll just a normal attack, or I don't remember?
Yeah, it's just a normal attack. Yeah.
Just normal attack. Okay.
With a normal attack with whichever weapon you're trying to hit it with.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to hit him with my longsword.
Yep.
So that is 17 to hit.
Yep. That's going to hit.
Okay. Damage is 6 plus 2, 8.
Yeah. What was your attempt at non-lethal?
I guess hitting his leg to stop him from moving.
Yeah. You impacted maybe like the hamstring area or calf muscle. What is
maybe the Achilles tendon.
The Achilles, yeah. So it was a good hit. It does get that, and you also recognizing this. You got at the same leg that Niall had an injury. The Niall you knew.
The right leg.
Yeah. So, and it is stumbling towards that. It's still making its way there, but it did take half of its movement. So it's kind of at the edge of the stage, about to unleash that grappling hook, but it's not directly in the middle of the stage. It's not an easy shot for it anymore. Okay. Logan's still there.
Sorry, did you say something to me?
Yeah. Sorry, no, it's your turn.
Okay. I didn't hear anything. Because I have a plan. It's funny you mentioned a grappling hook, because I was already planning on using my grappling hook, the same one I attempted to wrangle the guillotine mimic with. What I would like to attempt is to stick one end of that grappling hook onto the rafters and swing down and kick this jester midair.
Okay, fantastic.
But
I don't know what to roll for that though.
I think that's incredible. So it's basically, I'm going to say it's definitely acrobatics, because you're swinging down with that. So I need you to. It is 2 checks because it is level 1. So it's first of all going to be the acrobatics to see if it's accurate towards him. That's
Got
a bit of an easier
21
one.
on acrobatics.
There you go. I was going to say it was going to be easier because he's hobbled and stuff. So it's definitely going to go in his direction. Now, an unarmed strike. So a D20 roll plus your strength. I think I said, yeah, plus your strength modifier. Trying to hit with an unarmed strike.
You just got to roll your d20.
Yeah.
And then it'll be 1 plus your strength modifier.
Okay, cool. So just roll your D20, please.
Okay, just roll a d20. I can do that.
Yeah, just straight.
Rolling. 13.
Yeah. It bumps off him, but it doesn't cause enough damage. So it does kind of connect, but it's more of a bump as opposed to a full contact hit. So you are there beside him, you've bumped into him, you have swung down successfully, you've kind of charged into him, but with his basically solid mass, even with his injury, you've been able to kind of slow him down, but you haven't caused any damage. Okay?
Well, that's it. Does that count as my attack?
Yes, because you were trying to attack.
An arm attack.
Yeah, you were trying to attack. Yeah. Okay. And so that was his reaction to that. So that is fine. He's going to continue to try to stumble because it is now officially his turn. He's going to continue to try to stumble towards that. And whoever rolls the highest D20 will get one final reaction shot at him before the grapple hook goes up.
Assassin Batman.
If anybody has inspiration dice, for example, now might be the time to use it.
I got a 9.
Oh, 13 for Claude. 9 for Ryan.
17
for Logan.
17 for Tommy, 14 for Logan, and Tell.
7.
7. Tommy. Grappling hook, the arm is going up. Grappling hook raised towards the rafters.
Okay. Can I, with my movement speed of 30, close the distance
Yes,
to where he is? Okay.
It won't be right on top of him, but it'll be pretty close.
Okay. Then I want to slice at him one more time with the rapier. My rapier. And would you say because of Logan doing his attack, is he within 5 feet of the guy?
Yes, he would be.
So then can I do a sneak attack because he has there's an enemy within? All right, well, let's first see if I can even hit. That is a 22.
Gonna hit.
All right, and then do this for 9. I hit for 9.
Yeah.
That's including.
Wait, so
wait, yeah, that
so,
includes sneak attack.
Yeah, that includes sneak attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, to close the distance, you had to throw the rapier.
Okay.
Right, because you weren't within reaching distance. Okay. And the rapier basically cut right through, like sort of ACL, MCL area, like right at the knees. Okay. So that right leg is pretty much hanging on. So it did cause a lot of damage. It cut into that. And you see some small things fall to the ground beside where your rapier hit. Caused a lot of damage. Really, really hurt. It didn't give any sort of expression or a sign. Hits it, goes up into the rafters, and this leg is dangling on as it flies up into the rafters.
Is my rapier going with it, or did it stay?
No, it's sliced.
Okay, all right.
It's sliced through, like off the side, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And basically this thing is sculled away into the dark and off the rafters, and it's basically getting away, but you can hear the sort of hobble and the thud as this leg is barely standing on. As you go to pick up your rapier, you notice a couple of small things that fell beside the rapier onto the ground.
Okay.
You notice 2 ring fingers.
In
2
the
different ring fingers.
because of all the chaos and probably people yelling, and I put them up, snatch them up, put them directly into my pocket. I don't make an announcement of it because I don't think it would in the what's going on if I just suddenly yell 2 fingers, if it would really help the whole situation. So I just quickly put them straight into my pocket.
Okay. Fantastic. So basically, out of combat now. I'm going to give everybody sort of one last chance to sort of react and see what happens or what they want to do for this session, and then that's gonna how we're going to end today's game. So
Claude's going to run out the door immediately.
Yeah. At the back, you're chasing this thing down.
Whichever way it looked like he would go from where he.
Yeah.
It looked like he was closer to the back, so I'll go out the back door.
Yeah. So you're basically trying to burst out this way.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is also the way he came. He didn't
What's up, Fish? How you doing, buddy?
This is the side of the stage he came from. All the other jesters were on this side of the stage. Okay, so that's how you're going to start the next session. You're running out that door. Tommy, you're on the stage. You've picked up the 2 fingers. Okay?
I turn and I immediately head towards Claude's father.
Here to Claude's father. Rickard is there, basically holding him. He's really, really upset. The father's still unconscious. Okay. Let's go with Rain. Rain, you've misty stepped. You were standing face to face with this thing. You saw Claude charge it down. Him briefly go still after seeing this thing. You don't know what's going on. Tobin has stayed where he's supposed to. What do you do?
I turn back towards Tobin and call him over. He'll let me pick him up.
He does. He basically runs towards you. He stands really still as you go to pick him up. There's that little moment where you don't know if he's about to run off, but he does let you pick him up. Okay.
I've secured the dog.
Okay. And then Bo, Logan, and Tel. Anybody wants to go first or whatever, just let me know what you want to do.
I'm gonna help. Claude. I'm gonna help Claude try to track down the jester.
Yeah, so you're running after him.
I'm gonna make a beeline with it. Yeah, see if I can go out and see any signs of, I don't know, him.
Classic.
Just avoid windows.
Just avoid windows. Oh yeah. Well, I'm never gonna go up a flight of stairs again.
Strictly ground level.
Yeah.
Tel and or Logan.
I'm gonna go check on the warden that was struck.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna. So at the start of the next session, you're gonna be beside Delilah Brunswick.
Yes. Is she?
Okay.
Can I ask if she's dead yet, or do we want to get into that?
So you saw what happened to her, but you'll see what happens next week.
Next
Okay.
So this guy's about to go up into the rafters, right?
He's already in the rafters and he's run away. Yeah.
Okay.
Just when you came down.
I know.
Looks like you gotta
I was
climb.
doing something so epic, swinging down, going for the kick.
Guess you gotta climb back up and go after him.
Still have the
My
grappling hook,
hook
right?
is still attached. I could climb back. You know what? I'm gonna do that. Logan climbs back up the rope into the rafters.
Okay. Fantastic. So you don't have the same pulley mechanism that he had on the grappling hook, so you're having to climb the rope. Okay. So you're gonna lose a little bit of time on him. He had like a pulled up and stuff. You're having to actually rope climb. Okay.
Okay.
Shit.
Cool.
Not to get into a whole discussion, but can I ask, was there blood on the leg? Was there...
You're looking around, you don't see any blood stains.
Alright.
All right, guys, thank you very much for that. So that was the Cash Windfall. And let's see what happens next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.